Hey Cougar fans, follow all of the action of Cougar Athletics online at stfranciscougars.com. Watch live streaming action of Cougar Athletics and get the latest game write-ups at stfranciscougars.com, where all Cougar fans go. The University of St. Francis is proud to partner with Physicians Health Plan to bring you the 2016 Cougar football season. PHP offering a variety of health insurance plans and services for northern Indiana businesses. PHP products include mental, medical, high deductible, and benefits administration. Learn more at bni.com.
Showing 4 minutes to our open.
Copy. So basically, when Nick drops back the pass, like don't zoom out, just stay on, like just stay zoomed in.
Cougar fans, please welcome to Donley Field the USF Marching Pride.
Open in 90 seconds.
Copy.
The USF Marching Pride is proud to support Cougar athletics across the campus of the University of St. Francis and would like to welcome all Cougar fans to today's game against the Knights of Marian University. We especially would like to welcome all those joining us for our first ever USF Marching Pride Band Day.
60 seconds.
Up next, the words and music by former University President, Sister Joellen Sheets. Here is the University of St. Francis fight song. Up next, we
Open in 10 seconds.
Coached by Haley Vanderweel. As the band performs a recent hit by the group Imagine Dragons, please enjoy Radioactive.
It is game time for the winningest college football program in the state of Indiana. It's the University of St. Francis Cougars on Redeemer Radio. Now, live to the stadium with the voice of the Cougars, Joe Parson, and the Redeemer Radio sports team.
But here today in Fort Wayne, very much a playoff feeling about today's game, and it doesn't get any bigger than this. Number 1 ranked defending national champion Marian here today to face second-ranked University of St. Francis. Greetings, everyone, and welcome in to Bishop John M. Darcy Stadium. Along with Sean McBride, I'm Joe Parson. Well, it's always a circle date, the meeting between these two Indiana NAIA football powers. Then you add in the 1-2 matchup, and you have something very, very special. Two teams split games a season ago. USF winning there during the regular season with a miraculous 20-0 fourth quarter finish that gave them the comeback victory, but was all Marian here in the playoffs, 45-14, with the Knights going on to win the national championship. Marian enters number 1 today. They handled Missouri Baptist in St. Louis last Saturday 70-10, putting together nearly 700 yards of total offense. New freshman quarterback at the helm, Sean, but veteran Krishan Hogan returns, and he was a personal Cougar killer in the playoffs a year ago.
Excuse me, Joe, you're absolutely right. Krishan Hogan, the wideout, has a nose for the ball, and this kid can flat out fly. Again, 4 games played, 596 yards so far through the air to Hogan. And Lucas Johnson, the freshman, doing a fine job so far this year for Marian, with a passing completion percentage of 642. So, again, a very potent offense for Marian.
No question about it. By the way, that quarterback Johnson out of Southport High School, just south of Indianapolis. Meanwhile, USF also tuned up for today's meeting with a convincing home turf victory against Lindenwood Belleville here, 63-7. Nick Ferrer throwing 5 touchdowns, and one key today, protecting him. He was sacked 12 times in 2 games against Marian a year ago.
You're absolutely right, Joe. And when you look at this team, very evenly matched total sacks. Marian has 17 on the season. USF has 19 sacks on the season so far. So, again, I think you're absolutely right. The big uglies up front really need to do a fine job, because we know that Marian is going to bring everything and the kitchen sink when it comes to trying to knock Ferrer off target today.
No question about it. Cougars Knights coming up, the battle to be number 1. We'll step out, then return with a chat with Cougar coach Kevin Downey coming up the other side of the break. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, WRDF 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
It's time for the Glenbrook Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram 10 event,
where there's amazing pricing on every vehicle in stock. Get 20% off MSRP on select vehicles, starting with the powerful Dodge Charger. Take 20% off the 2016 Chrysler 300 with tons of bonus cash available. There's also $1,500 of bonus cash on a new Ram 1500, the longest-lasting pickup in America.
And there's $500 of bonus cash on the 2016 Jeep Cherokee.
You'll also be able to save on the new Chrysler Pacifica minivan and new Jeep Renegade. Glenbrook Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram has the largest selection of vehicles in the area, with over 700 to choose from.
Over 700 to choose from.
Shop them all at GlenbrookDodge.com. It's 10 time with 20% off select vehicles, including the new Dodge Charger and Chrysler 300 sedan. Get out of the heat and under the 10 at Glenbrook Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
That's Glenbrook Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Under the giant American flag on Coliseum, and always online at GlenbrookDodge.com.
Well, the circle date is here. The game everybody's been talking about in small college football. Number 1 against number 2. Bigger than that. With us right now, Coach Kevin Downey. And Coach, rightly or wrongly, 2 areas, focal points come to my mind. You know, a year ago, your team gave up 35 sacks. In the 2 games against Marian, 12 of those sacks by Marian. And that includes the win down at Indianapolis. And tremendous improvement in that category this year. I think you've only given up a couple of sacks all year long. How big in your mind's eye is that to today's game, protecting Nick Ferrer?
According to your holy inspiration, carried on by your gracious assistance, may our every prayer and activity always begin with you, and by you be happily ended. Through Christ our Lord. Our Lady of Victory.
The other is the name Krishan Hogan.
St. Francis of Assisi.
Playoff game, running out of the Wildcat, 5 touchdowns against us. I don't know that you can take them away. I'd like to get your comments, but how do you minimize his effectiveness?
As the USF Marching Pride under the direction of Dr. Stephen Candow leads the band in the playing of our national anthem.
Possible. They have to get it from the quarterback's hands to Hogan. So we want to lengthen that distance and create decisions and where the ball has to go. But that young freshman was good. He was another player. They have a covey of talent around them. Five running backs that carried the ball. I think this will be one of those. The offensive line is extremely strong. The defense is always great. We've got several Division I transfers there. And so, they're quick. What you would think is somebody who's a national champion with most of the back. So, we know we've got a great challenge today. We're excited about the opportunities.
I want to ask you about the X Factor. I thought last week Charles Gassler really with that X Factor stepped up, blocked the punt, took it in for a touchdown. They really stepped out of bounds, and then rewarded a couple of plays later with a receiving touchdown. A year ago down at Marian, it was Sean Bosworth down the stretch, a couple of key catches, including the game winner. And looking at your crystal ball, who knows that X Factor be away from your team?
Well, I don't have the crystal ball, but I know we've had a good week of practice with the kids. Boston is
Cougar fans, be sure to join us at our halftime show. Later this afternoon, as high school students from across the Midwest join us for our first ever USF marching
Kevin
band
Downey with his pregame comments. He has been here from day one, the only coach that the Cougar football program has known, 19 years now. A year ago, the Cougars were 11-1 overall, 6-0, the Mid-East League champs. They're 4-0 overall and 2-0 in the Mid-East League. As far as Mark Henninger in his fourth year as head man of the Marian University Knights, they're also 4-0, ranked number 1. They're 1-0 though in the Mid-East League. And a year ago, just a tremendous finish, 12-2 overall, 5-1 in the league. They beat Southern Oregon 31-14 in the national championship. We will take a 1-minute timeout, and we'll be back. We get ready for the meeting at midfield, and the coin toss coming up in number 1 against number 2, just minutes away. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Make a difference in your life and others by joining. Every great team has focus and talent, and at Parkview Sports Medicine, our focus is on you. From performance training and nutrition counseling to orthopedic surgery, athletic rehab, and more, Parkview Sports Medicine's got you covered. You can trust us to bring together today's top experts in sports medicine to improve the performance and treatment of athletes like you.
Okay, will do.
.com/sports medicine to learn how we can help you and the athletes in your life be your best. Parkview Sports Medicine. Upgrade your game.
Tune in Monday for the Kyle Hyman Show from 6 to 8 a.m. here on Redeemer Radio. We'll have the latest.
Test 1, 2.
Father Kevin Bauman's thoughts on dark chocolate and reflections on his ministry. Plus, Dr. Andrew Mullally from Cradle Family Medicine joins us to talk about epidurals, and Kathy Fetch and Allison Sturm will tell us about building inclusive parishes and ministries for people with disabilities. All this and more on the Kyle Hyman Show Monday from 6 to 8 a.m. on Redeemer Radio.
Hey sports fans, listen to who just scored again. John Sullivan with RE/MAX. Buying a home or selling yours? You need the best coach around. Score with John Sullivan at RE/MAX. Score with John. Call RE/MAX and ask for John Sullivan to coach you in buying a home or selling yours. Sports fans, it's time to score with John Sullivan at RE/MAX.
Starting at the other safety, number 29, Jeremy Shepard, the defensive unit for the Marian Knights. Now let's meet the
And we are back as we get ready for the meeting at midfield here. University of St. Francis hosting the Marian University Knights. Both teams 4-0 today. 63 degrees here just ahead of kickoff. Cloudy skies, although we are getting some very light showers right now, but hopefully those are going to disappear. We're told that if the rains move in this afternoon, it should be sometime after 3 o'clock. So right now, not all that bad, although we do see some umbrellas out in evidence. Winds out of the south-southeast about 6 miles an hour. Other games going on elsewhere today in the Mid-States Football Association. Taylor hosting Missouri Baptist. Concordia at USF Illinois. Lindenwood Belleville is idle today. So is Siena Heights, and we'll be there in Adrian, Michigan next Saturday afternoon. The Cougars begin a 2-game road trip to Michigan. And starting at Siena Heights against the Saints next Saturday, 1 o'clock kickoff. Our pregame on Redeemer Radio begins at 12:45. As the Knights, they'll be back home next Saturday. They'll Taylor University. Our referee today is Larry Trexler, as we wait for the teams to come back out and co-captains to make their presence known. Number 1 Marian went to 4-0 with a blistering of Missouri Baptist 70-10 last Saturday in St. Louis. They beat the Spartans 76-0 a year ago, so they've really had Missouri Baptist number the last 2 years. And really the game was tied early on, 7-7. Then the Knights, they galloped away, scoring the final 63 unanswered points, posting huge numbers, 413 rushing yards, another 258 for the air, for a total of 671 of total offense. Freshman Charles Sallery from LaPorte, veteran Chicory Ward. Wide receiver Deshaun Hogan, 7 catches, 125 receiving yards, and a touchdown. Running back Robert Gibson also had 2 touchdown catches. The defense accounted for 5 sacks, 1 interception, 9 tackles for loss, and 2 As far as St. Francis, they kept their record perfect here last Saturday.
Showing off for new things. Couldn't take it all, so I gave her change. She called me top shot, but yeah, I keep champion sound, yeah, I got a few rings in the mouth.
They scored the game's first 56 points before Belleville countered with a late fourth-quarter touchdown. Aaron Harris featured a pair of short yardage touchdown runs in the onslaught, but a highlight occurred after a 7-0 Cougar lead. Charles Gaston, we talked about, blocked the Wings punt, recovered, ran it in for an apparent touchdown, which was overturned with the rule that he stepped midfield. Let's go down and check in with Sean McBride and our referee.
All right, go ahead and
Trexler.
introduce yourselves. All right, gentlemen, we have a heads, tails. Heads, tails. What is your call?
Tails.
What was that?
Tails.
He calls tails.
I got tails.
It's a tail. You won the toss. You want to defer? Okay. You want to kick away from the board? All right, swing on around.
Okay, Joe, Marian has won the toss. They have deferred to the second half, and they're going to be kicking north towards the parking lot. Steady rain down here. It's picking up a little bit, but here we go. No hype needed. Number 1, number 2 coming up next.
We'll be back with the kickoff. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Let us pray. As we gather in your name, O Lord, there are so many things for which we are grateful, for you have created us in your image and likeness, and you have filled us with gifts and talents and abilities. We thank you for the gifts that you have bestowed upon these athletes, their coaches, their parents, and their supporters. We ask you to bless this contest in which we show forth the beauty of creation by using our talents wisely. Help us always to use them for your greater honor and glory in a spirit of fairness and competition, so that this game may truly be a way of bringing to the world an awareness of you who are Lord forever and ever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Strap in and turn up the radio for hard-hitting, high-scoring USF Cougar football. Coach Kevin Donnelly joins Joe Parson and the Redeemer Radio sports team for one of the great traditions in Fort Wayne sports as we count down to the kickoff on Redeemer Radio.
Back at Darcy Stadium, I'm Joe Parson. Sean McBride will join us shortly as the Cougars will get a first opportunity at seeing what they can do against this talented Marian team. These teams 1-2 statistically in so many categories. Marian number 1 offensively, averaging 52.2 points a ball game. The Cougars number 2 at 48 a game. Defensively, Marian again number 1, giving up less than 11 points a ball game. Cougars number 2 giving up just under 12 points a ball game. Cougars offensively are number 1 in pass offense, averaging 338 and change a ball game. But Marian right there, number 2, averaging 306.5 yards a game offensively through the air. Cougars with Justin Green back in kick return. Last week against Belleville, he had 2 kickoff returns, had a long of 19. Nicodemus is back there as well, but Green the deepest. And we are ready to go to work. As here comes Marian kicking the ball away high, end over end, down the middle. Green has it at the 2, brings it out across the 5, 10, 15. Looks for running room, going wide to the left and steps out of a tackle at the 20, 25, and tripped up and dropped at the 26, 27-yard line. So we are underway here in this big circle date game here in Fort Wayne. Bring in Sean McBride as soon as he gets his breath from that trek up the steps. It doesn't get any easier, does it?
It's only about 6 so far today, Joe, but I tell you what, I'm excited for this game. We're going to see early, right now, what the Big Uglies up front can do to protect Nick Ferrer and company, the playmakers, against this stout Marian defense.
Well, you take a look at the offensive line for the Cougars, averaging 279 a man, tackle to tackle. Brian Gegner, the veteran, at center. Zach Menardo and Jalen Gamble at guards. Keegan Bruner, Alex Woods are the tackles. They've got Seth Coate wide to the left. They'll run Justin Green, and he does not get back to the line of scrimmage. He's dropped at the 25 for a 1-yard loss, and that's a tough way to start.
Mullings on the tackle that time for Marian. Again, the defensive leader, D-end, we're going to keep an eye on this guy. Dylan Dittemore, number 92 for the Marian Knights, comes in with 7 sacks on the season and 8 tackles for loss.
They got some good troops in defensive tackle. Mac Dutcher, just a freshman, but had 6 tackles last week, 2 for loss and 2 sacks. Second down and 11. Now fake the draw, and here is Ferrer sacked and dropped that time as he beat Alex Woods. And the Cougars not the kind of start they hoping for, as Dittemore, you just talked about him, got credit for the sack.
That's exactly right. Just some good pressure on the outside right. Came in, beat the offensive tackle who could not contain him. And I think early on, Nick Ferrer learns that he needs to get rid of that ball quickly.
So now it becomes 3rd down and 18 with the ball at the 18-yard line. They would have to get out to the 36-yard line to convert. Cougars on 3rd downs this year, 39%, that's 6th best. Last week against Linden with Belleville, there were 6 of 9. Blitz being shown up the middle by the Knights. Here is the stepping up for, looks over the middle, throws it way high, and that one was nearly intercepted. So intended for Keem Kelsaw at the 45, but too strong on the throw, and the Cougars go 3 and out to kick the ball away, and a tough start.
Yeah, very tough start there. Keem Kelsaw had a little bubble right there. Deep coverage for Marian. They were playing a 2-deep zone that time. And unfortunately, the ball just got away from Ferrer for an incompletion.
We've seen a lot of Jakari Gore in punt returns. He is number 1, averaging 18.9 a punt return, and he's waits inside the Marian 40. Josh Spitnail is back today. He's missed several games with a broken hand and kicks this one out end over end. It will hit at midfield, takes a Cougar bounce inside the 40, and still rolling down towards the 35 and to the 34 is where it'll be touched. And now we'll see that talented, potent Marian offense for the first time today. Cougars went 3 and out, and now we'll see Marian.
Yeah, again, Marian led by that freshman on offense, Lucas Johnson, 6'4", 200-pounder, number 8 quarterback, doing very well for the Knights so far. But good return there by Spitnail. Again, that punt, he's back in action. Standout from Snyder High School here in Fort Wayne.
Offensive line, no seniors starting today for the Knights. Lucas Johnson out of the pistol lineman with Gore, the running back, and they back away. Now they average 280 a man tackle to tackle. Darren McAllister at center. Ryan Borders and Rob McKee are the guards. Meanwhile, here's Gore looking for running room, and he's smothered up as See if that was Lucas Spark. No, it's going to be Helmelgarn that grabbed a hold of him, and both defenses have stepped up here in the early going.
Interesting call there, double tight formation, so you had to think that they were going to run right off the bat, and then again they tried the trap through the middle. Helmelgarn had nothing to do with it, with his defensive tackle position, hit immediately for no gain.
Jaron Bush, by the way, Logan Glaze are the other tackles starting today for the Marian Knights. 2nd down and 10. And Lucas Johnson with a running back flank to his right. Looks to hand it off again. And here's running room up the middle across the 35. Gore brings it out to about the 37. So they did have a positive gain out to about the 39-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5.
Deshaun Lewis from his cornerback position made the initial hit right there. But really, Gore was able to get some good positive momentum and actually push Deshaun Lewis back. So actually the defense was playing catch that time instead of with a big push.
Rashawn Hogan wide to the near side. He's got Deshaun Lewis defending on him. Here's Lucas Johnson, throws on the flats and missed his open receiver. So it'll be the Knights going 3 and out. And they'll kick the ball away in a game where the defenses have emerged early on.
This could be a trend, Joe, again, with both of these high-powered offenses on the field. Really, it's an opportunity sometimes to overlook these stout defenses, but they match up very, very well, St. Francis and Marian on defense.
Brandon Dowers does the punting normally. Last week he had a long of 42 in St. Louis against Missouri Baptist. He's averaging 35.8 for the season from the 25, and a low line drive kick. That comes to Sean Boswell, splits the middle, goes to the left at the 30-yard line, steps out of a tackle, and then is nailed. But the Cougars will have their best starting position of the day offensively. No score. Both teams have gone 3 and out. We've got 11:57 remaining in this opening quarter.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if, in fact, St. Francis can't start to establish a little run pattern here to open up the pass, because so far, already 1 sack on the day for Marian. I don't know that St. Francis is going to be able to rely upon that passing attack too much.
They love the vertical routes, but you got to have time, and we saw evidence early on that may not be available today. This Marian defense comes in with 17 sacks, 5 last week. They've already had 1 today. And here's Ferrer. Looks, throws the fade near side, and that looks like a busted pattern looking for Coate, but he was double covered. In fact, you want to throw in a 3rd defender, as Monte McDowell was also somewhat in the vicinity, so maybe somebody not where they were supposed to be.
Yeah, Brian Gooden providing coverage that time for Marian on defense was right there with Coate, and just an incomplete pass.
Sean, I'm old school. I like quick slants, like screens.
Quick hit, yeah, quick hitch, you bet.
Cougars show 2 wide to the right now on 2nd down and 10. Pistol alignment once again. Green runs off tackle left side. Had some running room. Spins across the 35. Got another yard, I believe, out to the 36. Let's see where they're going to spot that ball. They may not give them that extra yardage. They're not. It'll be 3rd down and 5 where the Cougars trying to reach the 40 from the 35.
Well, again, just a little off tackle left there, finding some good room and a good 5-yard gain that time early here. If they can do that consistently on 1st and 2nd down, that could really open things up for them.
Very manageable 3rd down and 5 call coming up. 2 wide again to the right. Motion now by Gegner to the left side. Here is Ferrer, looks to him. He's got a catch and battles for the 1st down stick. He is very close. Oh, they're going to mark him short, I believe.
Yeah, they're marking these spots very short so far. That one, it's going to be awfully close. There it is.
The referee, Larry Trexler, today, and they're going to move the chain. They're taking a long look, and now they finally do decide, let's move the chains and reward the Cougars with the first down of the ball game either way. Well, Seth Coate, you got to know he's going to be a marked man today. Comes in with 13 catches, 345 receiving yards, 5th best among MSFA receivers. Blitz up the middle is being shown. Here they come as they'll run the ball. And Green with running room in the middle of the field. Nudges across the 45 and reaches the 46-yard line.
Yeah, another great call that time. Again, when they're showing heat between in the C-gap out there, what they do is they pull that guard and do a kick-out block. And he's got room. So, again, turning on those jets early was Green for a very successful run.
Green comes in leading the Cougar running attack with 223 yards starting the day on 30 carries. He's got 3 rushing touchdowns. Ran for 51 yards and a touchdown last week against the Lynx. Ferrer drops to throw, looks being pursued, steps out of it, rolls to the right. Now there's a penalty flag thrown. The catch is made by Kelsall, but that may not be going to stand as he was into Marian territory, the 46. That was a nice grab by Kelsall. Kind of reached behind and high, but brought it in. But looks like we're going to be seeing St. Francis whistled for a penalty.
Yeah, I think it's a penalty when the offensive lineman tackles the defensive lineman. So,
can't do that, huh?
No. Typically frowned upon.
So it remains second down, but the walk-off will take the ball back to the 36-yard line, so that'll bring up second down and 14. Cougars adjusting some of their offensive personnel now. They've shown an empty backfield. 3 wide to the right, 2 wide to the left. So let's see how Marian plays it as Ferrer back there by his lonesome. 3 deep in coverage. Now there was movement, and that may cost St. Francis another 5 yards.
I'm sorry, Joe. Marian was showing a corner blitz on the left side there, and the left tackle moved early. He was trying to get a jump on that block, and boy, it cost him again.
Boy, down below looks like something's on fire, but I think that's coming out of the concession stand.
Yeah, from what I'm smelling, I like that smoke right there.
But a walk-off of 5, and the penalties have been an area of concern, I know, for USF this year, despite the 4-0 record. They're averaging over 91 yards a penalty.
Yeah.
Had 6 for 67 here last week against the Lynx. So second down and even longer. 2nd and 19 now. Here's Ferrer barking up the signals. Looks to throw quickly, and a quick slant is caught. That's Sept Coat at the 35, so they get some of that last penalty yardage back, and it'll bring up 3rd down and still about 14.
Now, interestingly enough, the St. Francis Cougars running about 50% this year on 3rd down conversions. This is going to be a tough one on 3rd and 14, though. And they actually are leading the edge against Marian on 3rd down conversions on the season, as Marian only hits about 39% of those.
2 safeties back. Jeremy Shepard stands 6'3". Antonio Allen, the much-traveled Antonio Allen. 3rd down and 14 now. Here's motion to the near side by Boswell as Ferrer looks and pulls it down. Now dumps it off. Has Coat at the 45. Battling for the first down stick, and I think that second effort got it against 2 Marian defenders.
Oh, he might be a foot shy here. What a spot. Oh, boy.
And in a big game like this, Cougars hurry up to the offensive line, try to play fast. Let's see if they're going to go for it on 4th and about less than a yard. And they do go for it. They'll run the ball. Nicodemus straight up the middle, carries tacklers inside the 45 down to the close to the 44.
Love the call. Give it to Nicodemus. That little bowling ball, square shoulders right through the gut. And the offense is fired up. The Big Uglies up front, pumping those fists and moving the chains.
First time today, USF into Marian territory. 1st and 10 at the Knights' 45-yard line. No score with 8:13 remaining in the opening quarter. Both teams went 3 and out their first possessions. Now the Cougars try to get something going on the Marian side of midfield. Nicodemus in motion to the near side. They'll run the ball, and here's P.J. Dean stacked up, but drives off the tackle down to the inside the 42, close to the 41, and P.J. Dean showing some wherewithal after being stood up first initially.
You know, interestingly enough, Joe, I don't see a huge push by the offensive line, but I do see them creating lanes, you know, and that's even more important. So offensive line so far on this drive doing a fine job.
And the running backs not giving up on first contact. They'll run the ball. No, here's Ferrer to throw over the middle, and that's too high for Boswell, and then he took a hit. Shepard delivered the blow and then helps him up. Tries to. Quick hitting play, and that's what I like. That's what I like to see, and I think you've got great potential. But now it's 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, real deep slant that time, and Boswell, if he was 6 inches taller, might have been able to pull that one in. But he might have been separated from the ball, too, because he did take a big shot, Joe. You're absolutely right.
Right now, Marian showing 3 deep in their coverage. Cougars trying to reach the 35 on this snap. 7:32 remains in the first quarter. Ferrer with 2 wide to the right. Rocky James has come into the offense now as Ferrer looks to the left, throws the ball, and that's going to be picked off. That was not a good throw, and Marian will be in business at their own 40-yard line on the interception.
Yeah, that was not a poorly thrown ball. It was short and behind. The cornerback was right out there and was able to just pick it off nice and easy. And now Marian is set up. Boy, that was a tough one, too, because St. Francis had a lot of momentum on that drive. That was their first fourth down conversion of the season, Joe. And unfortunately, it's all for naught.
And Ferrer came in with just 3 interceptions on the year. Suffers a costly one here, so Marian now's got it at their own 40-yard line. And they'll try to capitalize on this momentum switcher. Looks like Gore is still in there as the running back, as Lucas Johnson, the freshman out of Southport, looks to hand the ball off. And Gore looking off tackle. Had a little seam, works across the 45 to the 46 for a gain of 6 yards. Jarrell Holman came up and had a hand on the stop. Pearson Harnish was there as well. A lot of weapons, and so far the name we haven't mentioned is Krishan Hogan, and that will be at some point in time a factor. He's wide to the near side. Again, Deshaun Lewis has got the coverage on him, one-on-one. Here's Johnson, checks the Cougar defense now, resets the running back to his left, hands it to Gore again, and has running room and picks up the first down to midfield and a yard deep into USF territory.
See, now the offensive coaches are going to see that there was man coverage out here with Hogan, and that is always dangerous. There was no safety help over the middle, and they're going to test Deshaun Lewis soon.
Hogan goes 6'4", but Deshaun Lewis is no shrimp out there. He's 6'3". He'll be tested today. 1st and 10. Marian at the USF 49. Now a shotgun formation. Lucas Johnson drops the throw, looks, throws left side, and there was contact. And do we see a penalty flag?
No, Pearson Harnish actually came in. Was there a penalty back here? No. Pearson Harnish actually got a paw on that ball, and it was a tip drill, and it just fell to the ground.
So no harm, no foul. 2nd down and 10 with the ball still at the St. Francis 49-yard line. Now they switch off, and Hogan comes wide to the right. Wilmer Cole will have the coverage. Again, shotgun formation. Cougars show blitz coming off the left side. Now they may be disguising and changing that up. It's a chess match here today. And here's a play-action throw, and a long throw, and they've got a catch for a first down at the 33. A lot of deep crossing pattern, and that was Cameron Utter.
Yeah, number 15, Cameron Utter, the senior wideout, 6 foot 200 pounds, doing a crossing pattern out to the flats on the left side, and it will be enough for a Marian first down.
Johnson with time. They fake the run play. And 1st and 10 as now the Knights deeper into Cougar territory at the 6-minute mark, looking for the first score of the game. And now there was motion, and that was going to cost procedure against Marian. They'll back them up 5.
Number 74.
Penalties so far, 365 yards on the season. Check that, 275 yards on the season for Marian with 26 penalties. And obviously there's 5 more.
They had 9 for 91 despite the big win last week in St. Louis. And here is Gore on a sweep, looking for running room off to the right side. Finds it, gets the penalty yardage back, and down inside the Cougar 30-yard line. Make that down to about the 29. I may say the knee hit at the 30.
Yeah, that was just an old school student body right. Again, everybody pull, stretch that play out, and the running back be patient, look for his blocks, and well-executed run.
2nd down and 7 from the right side hash mark now. They'll stay on the shotgun formation. Cougars trying to apply pressure. Here's a screen coming up, middle screen. They've got Hogan now, and he runs for a first down, still on his feet. Spins down inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line. And Krishan Hogan doing what Krishan Hogan does.
Well, that's exactly right, and a beautiful play call, actually, because St. Francis blitzed their outside linebackers that time. So if any time you're going to run a screen, that was the one, and a great presence there by their quarterback to recognize that and get it to Hogan quickly.
1st and 10 at the USF 17. Marian knocking on the door, trying to draw first blood. Johnson out of the shotgun formation again, hands the ball off, and here's a run right side by Gore. Gore angles down inside the 15, got to the 11. That'll be a gain of about 7, and Marian beginning to find some little holes.
Yeah, that they are. There was a good hole over there on the on that side of the field, where St. Francis over-pursued a little bit by the defensive end, creating that seam, and he ran right through it.
Call it a pickup of 6, 2nd down and 4. Now they'll shift the running back off to the right side, and they'll hand the ball to him. And here's Gore. He's not going anywhere that time as he ran into Hemmelgarn, among others, back around the 18 or 19-yard line for a loss.
Boy, Hemmelgarn doing a fine job getting great penetration back there. Was almost there at the transaction when the quarterback gave it to the running back. And a great tackle for loss for number 98.
Big play coming up on 3rd and 12 if you're looking ahead to a possible field goal by Matt Plesac. He is 2 for 4, but a long of only 22 yards this year. They've got to get down inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line on this snap. Of course, obviously in 4-down yardage area as well. Johnson, too wide to his right. Now from the left side hash mark. Short drop, looks left, throws over the middle, and he's got Hogan. Big catch, and he's knocked down short of the goal line, but at the 2-yard line. And boy, you just cannot let him alone like that.
You surely can't. He is so shifty, and he has a knack for finding the bubble. And that's exactly what he did in between two defenders there. The ball was placed right on the money. And then he goes to work after that for some good yards after the catch.
Remember that regular season game in Indianapolis. Now the Wildcat is Hogan. Krishan Hogan backs away. That game of the regular season at Indy, the Cougars were down 17 going into the fourth quarter. Outscored and shut out the Knights 20-0 to win it by 3. Hogan out of the Wildcat, wants to run, looks right and into the end zone untouched virtually. So a 2-yard touchdown run. And the interception produces points on the board for the Marian Knights at the 3:03 mark. A 2-yard touchdown run by Krishan Hogan, and the Knights in the early lead 6-0.
Yeah, that Wildcat really pays off for Marian, as they have such a playmaker back there in Hogan. He danced around the backfield, waited for that hole to open up, shot through like a cannon, and found the end zone very easily.
Plesac has not missed an extra point, 29 for 29 on the way, and make it 30 for 30. So we have a stoppage here and a good start for Marian. Not so good for USF. They're on the short end of a 7-0 score. We'll return to Darcy Stadium. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
You can help support your Catholic parish or school with Notre Dame Federal Credit Union's Elevate program. You'll not only enjoy excellent personal service and save money with your new loan or credit card, you'll also be giving money back to the participating parish or school you care about. Let Notre Dame Federal Credit Union elevate all participating parishes or schools. Elevate can be reached at 844-230-6611 or visit us online at ndelevate.com. Independent from the university.
Well, you make mistakes, you pay.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And they really need to limit those mistakes against this very tough Marian team. They're number 1 in the nation for a reason, and they came to play here at Bishop Darcy Stadium.
Just got to bring your A game when you play teams of this caliber. And now the Cougars have to play from behind, trailing at 7-0. Again, it'll be Justin Green in kick return formation. Waits back inside the 5. Well, the good news, still see some umbrellas up, but it looks like the sun is starting to break through. High end over end kick and backing up. Green's got it at the 2, brings it to the 10, 15, 20, cuts to his right and won't get to the 25. He was nailed at about the 23-yard line.
And the flag on the play, there's a late flag that came streaming in by about 30 yards north of the play. And let's see what that call is, because he was hit high near the helmet as he was going down. That was a rough hit.
Referee today is Larry Trexler, chatting with a couple of members of his crew. Again, it goes against St. Francis. And
wow.
So USF net from their own 23. They'll be backed up back around the 10-yard line is where they're going to put that ball down.
Wow.
You're just making it tougher on yourselves.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Early mistakes here and cost St. Francis. So, again, it's tough enough to go 80 yards on this Marian defense. Now you have to go 90. Again, this last drive, Joe, they showed a lot of momentum until the interception. They were putting together a very nice drive, including a 4th down conversion.
Justin Green is in there as the running back. He lines up at about the 2-yard line. Ferrer in front of him out of the pistol. Motion left to right by Nicodemus. And here's a throw, and they've got Sept nailed immediately. Well, the good news, they had that quick pass, but they were up in press coverage, and Coach just had nothing to do available to run with that ball after he'll lose 2 yards.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They couldn't create any separation on that quick screen whatsoever, so a great job by the defender to stay with Coach, follow him into the pass, and another tackle for loss.
A lot of times on those quick bubble screens, you have some help out there, and you rely on the blocking as you receive that football, but Sept was out there on his lonesome. Now they look to Green, looking off tackle and spun around and dropped at the 5. And this Marian defense flexing their muscles.
Yeah, could not find a lane that time. He was grabbed from behind by the shirt and wrangled down.
Bradley Mullings again there.
Yeah, Mullings doing a fine job with the interior defense for Marian.
It'll be 3rd down, 3rd and 13. We approach 2 minutes time remaining in this first quarter. And Cougar fans still wondering if their team's in the locker room.
Yeah.
Code in wide to the left side. They'd have to get out to the 20 to convert. And standing at the, now the 2-yard line is Ferrer. And drops the throw, looks, and throws over the middle, and that one's nobody home. Sean Boswell, but well bracketed by 3 defenders. And not much going right now for St. Francis, trailing at 7-0 with 1:39 remaining, and the Knights are going to come up with some excellent field position after this Josh Spitnail punt.
Well, and Frere needs to find his throwing game. I don't know what's going on here early, but his head is not in this. That's at least 3 overthrown balls. As Boswell really, he had an opportunity, but the ball was not even close to him.
Gore sets up right about the Cougar side of midfield. 2 yards from the inline is Spitnail. Kicks the ball away high, but not all that deep. And Gore handles it, runs to the 42-yard line, turn the corner, and does. Angles out of bound inside the USF 35, and Marian, well, they're in business once again with great field position with 1:28 left in the clock on here in the first quarter, and their lead is 7-0.
Well, we talk about mistake-free ball, and of course on that kick return, we had that hold, put him back on the 10-yard line. The offense sputtered, and now again, here's Marian with a great field position.
Yeah.
It's been all Knights, and they enjoy playing on this field, don't they?
Yeah.
Going back to the playoff victory a year ago, and they beat St. Francis 45-14. 1st and 10 at the 35 is where they spot it. Lucas Johnson walks up to the line of scrimmage, whispers something to his center, and sets up out of the shotgun once again. Hands the ball off. That might be, let's see if that's Robert Gibson in there now running the ball. He'll get 3 yards, dancing his way up the middle, inside the 35 to the 32.
And not much there interiorly. They actually had Krishan in the slot to the left that time, looking at what the defense was going to do there. And they just pushed it forward through the middle.
Very difficult to see these Marian numbers. They've got a gray background shirt. They do have yellow numbers, but there's no border on them. They just kind of, now they're hard to distinguish. Johnson to throw, looks over the middle. He's got Kogan drop the ball. Boy, mark that down. You won't see that happen often. He was wide open at the 22.
So fast. He gets down the field so quickly. The ball was thrown a little bit behind him. He had to go back with his left hand to try and grab it. Thought he might have made a circus catch, but it went through.
Got to play again, make a play now. 3rd down and long, 3rd and 7. Hogan stays in wide to the short side to the right. Wilmer Cole's got the coverage.
Marian coming into the contest with a 39% 3rd down conversion rate.
And Johnson barking out the signals. They want to run the ball now, and here's a cutback. They'll be short of the 1st down inside the Cougar 30 to the 28. So to bring up 4th down and about 3. And let's see if they're going to bring Plesac on or they'll try to convert.
This is 4 down territory.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mark Henninger agrees with you. Johnson stays on as the quarterback. Now backs away, still 23 on the play clock. They've got plenty of time to decide what they want to do. It's 4th down and 3, 19 seconds remaining, and it's very tight. They may let the clock run out and go to the second quarter in a 7-0 lead. We'll check it in a moment. Around 7 seconds, they're going to try to run a play with 5 on the play clock. They do run a play. They'll run Gore to the right side, looking for running room, and he's tripped. What a great tackle, knifing in there. Wilmer Cole made the play. So it's a 4th down stop as time runs out. And has momentum changed? We'll find out. We'll head to the second quarter, but Marian, their drive stopped here. They lead 7-0, and we'll be back with second quarter action. Cougar football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Here's a money-saving tip from Mumper, the #1 name in insulation since 1956. Exposed attic ceiling joints and ductwork
Copy that.
melts off your roof means you need to add insulation. We'll fill empty sidewall cavities with insulation, even through masonry aluminum or vinyl siding with no unsightly holes. Plus, we'll seal your crawl space with urethane foam for a total insulation package. Call Mumper Insulation at 432-7543 for a free, no-obligation energy analysis of your home.
Hi, I'm Janet Henrietto. As chair couple for this year's Redeemer Radio Fall Share-a-thon, my husband John and I invite you to join us October 24th through the 28th on 95.7 and 106.3 FM with some wonderful guests from our Catholic community.
And I'm John Henrietto. All of Redeemer Radio's funding comes from listeners like you. Help us continue the work of sharing His mercy. Pledge your support to keep Redeemer Radio on the air.
Well, Wilmer Cole, who had 6 tackles last week in the big win over Lindenwood Belleville, that was a big one there on 4th down and 3. Tackle for loss gives the Cougars the ball at their own 33 and preserves this 7-0 deficit. Now USF moves from right to left. They'll be reaching towards the north end zone. Spinning move is Ferrer. It looks, throws, he's got a catch. That's at the 40-yard line, so that's a gain of 7. That's Sean Boswell on the receiving end, and that's a bit of a positive start for USF.
Well, I like Ferrer's decision-making that time. He got a little flustered back in the pocket there, was receiving some pressure, was able to step out of it, and he looked short instead of looking long because he knew he didn't have much time to get rid of it. And on the crossing route there was Boswell.
He's got to know that Marian's going to be buzzing around there all day long. So you've got to make quick, definitive decisions. Hands the ball off. Here's a cutback to the right side and driving to the. That's a first down up to the 45-yard line. So the Cougar ground game, has been that's P.J. Dean on the carry, and I like the determination.
Darn right, Zach Minardo with a big help right there, number 63. He ran into Zach, and Zach said, "Let's go." And they pushed him across that first down marker.
Just like that, St. Francis at their own 46-yard line, trailing it 7-0. Wing back off to the left side. Ferrer looks right, now throws the ball down. He's got Monte McDowell, and he's got the catch inside the 10-yard line. It'll be first and goal, and there's that X factor, a guy stepping up, Monte McDowell, who came in with 2 touchdown catches. That's his 12th on the year, and the Cougars knocking on the door.
Saw an interview with Coach D this week, very high on Monte McDowell, not only his leadership, but the character that he possesses, and of course there on the athletic field, we show his prowess. Just a fantastic job. That has got to be a huge shot in the arm for Nick Ferrer and company on offense.
It'll be first and goal at the 8. Aaron Harris now checks in, part of the goal line offense for St. Francis. McDowell stays in wide to the short side to the right. Everybody else fairly tight though. And under center is Ferrer. Ferrer looking to hand the ball off, and here's Harris, angles to his left side, runs into a wall at the 5, but again carries forward down to the 3-yard line. And again, these running backs are showing, that was Nicodemus?
That was Nicodemus, number 34 from Cherubusco. Yeah. But you're right, Joe, they are showing tremendous grit out there. They're getting hit and dragging tacklers with them for an extra 3 yards, almost at will.
Seth Coate is on the field. He's tight to the left side, right next to Jalen Gamble. Harris back there along with Nicodemus in the backfield. Under center is Ferrer. Second down and goal. They'll give to Harris. Harris looks, spins, and into the end zone for a touchdown. 2 yards at the 12:56 mark, and we're a conversion away from a tie game.
They are jacked up. The fans are on their feet. St. Francis is right back in it, putting together a very nice drive. But how about that catch by Monte McDowell? Uh-oh, wait a minute. There's a flag on the field, Joe.
That's back at the 6. But did that occur after the... Boy, I tell you what, Trevor Miller's out there. Cougars still think they have a touchdown. We've not received any information yet from Larry Trexler, our referee.
This might be a celebration penalty, actually. So a few of the linemen outside of the bounds of the field cheering to the crowd after the touchdown. Let's see what the call is.
It is 7-6.
After the play is over, we have dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 77 of St. Francis. The result of the play is a touchdown, The 15 yards will be marked off on the kickoff.
Goes on Jalen Gamble, dead ball foul, so the touchdown counts. And Nix, who's 24 of 26 on the year, comes on to try to tie the game. Well, these are never gimmies now, so you've got to be careful. Boswell's been the holder pretty much all season long, waiting for the snap. Marian has blocked some kicks. Right-footed kick is long enough. On the way, and it is good. So 7-7 with a timeout here at Darcy Stadium. Number 1 against number 2. All that it has been billed to be. And we'll take a 30-second timeout. We'll be back with more. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Think of Briscoe Dentistry for your family's dental care. Dr. Todd Briscoe and team know that your body is more than just teeth and gums. Your oral health affects the performance ability of your entire body. And on the field or court, you want your body to perform at its best. So trust Dr. Briscoe and team to provide the ultimate in preventative, periodontal, orthodontic, restorative, and cosmetic dentistry. To optimize your body's performance, contact Dr. Briscoe at 260-486-9950 or on the web at briscoedentistry.com.
Back with Sean McBride, I'm Joe Parson. Cougars feeling a little bit better about themselves. Well, they had some lethargy, I guess is the best way to put it, to start the ball game. Had an interception that turned into ultimately a touchdown for Marian to give them the early lead. But Monty McDowell going vertical, made a big catch inside the 10 and set up a 2-yard touchdown run by Aaron Harris.
Well, again, it's number 1 versus number 2. It's all that it's built for. I would love to see St. Francis really settle down at this point and start limiting those mistakes, Joe. I mean, that's really what it's going to come down to, because at some point in the game, that is going to end up costing them.
Now, with the penalty, they must kick the ball away from the 20-yard line. So we will see Marian with the extra yardage. Their returners set up at the Marian 20-yard line. Nix gets ready to put the foot into the football. 7-7 tie here in Fort Wayne. Here comes Nix, drives it high, end over end. Gore backpedaling's got it at the 15, spins, works back to the 20, 25, looks for running room, tipped up and tripped up and dropped. Getting down there with a good pursuit down there was Kylan Bass for the Cougars on the special teams.
Well, and he should get some credit here. Charles Gaston came down and kept his lane so that he was not able to get to the sideline, had it turned it back inside the field to where the other defenders were. So good job by Charles Gaston as well.
And even with that kickoff from the 20, not all that bad from a Cougar standpoint, as Marian will start 1st and 10 at their own 28.
Yeah.
Nashawn Lewis comes up and press coverage on the far side against Hogan. What a battle that's going to be all day long. Now they give the Gore. Gore trying to run to the left side and trying to turn the corner. Does not get the job done. As, let's see, was that? No, that's Darrell Holman.
Holman, yeah, from a safety position. He eyed him all the way over, made a shot, great pursuit angle, and limited that to a very small gain.
Yeah, gain of 1, 2nd down and 9, or the ball just short of the Marian 30-yard line. Well, you got to remember it's midway through the college football season. This game is huge, but a lot of football yet to be played. Johnson out of the shotgun, 2 wide to the right now. Checks off, backs away. Still 12 on the play clock. He's got Gore flanked to his right. And Hogan in the slot to the near side. Gore now comes out in motion to the left. They want to screen the ball to him. He's got the ball, works, runs for 1st down, running room all the way up close to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, that was a great call that time. Good screen on the far side of the field. Making the stop was Spencer Coward. Caught him from behind. But Marian executed that screen very, very well for another 1st down.
Knights improving their field position. They're short of midfield, I should say, at their own 44-yard line. Same formation with 2 wide to the right. Hogan out to the wide to the left. And the running back is Gore. And they'll hand the ball to him and cuts back up the middle. He's got some room. He bowls his way into Cougar territory for a 1st down to the USF 44.
Boy, oh boy, a wide open truck lane right there through the middle. The offensive line doing a fine job and a nice push for Marian on that play.
Cougars making personnel changes now. We'll see Jordan May check into the ball game up front. Lucas Sparks stays in. So it's 1st and 10 at the USF 44 for the Marian Knights. Cougars still with 2 safeties back, but they're only about 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. Little motion, and now the whistle. We heard that on the field.
Yeah, that was Hogan.
False start against the Knights. We mentioned penalties last week. Knights for the season are averaging just under 69 yards a game, but they had 9 for 91 despite the big win against Missouri Baptist. That'll back them up to the Cougar 49-yard line. Becomes first down and 15. Same formation with 2 wide to the right and 1 wide to the left for Lucas Johnson. Blitz being shown, and they'll run the ball. Gore tripped up and stacked up and going nowhere. Got back to the 49, maybe about a half-yard gain, if that.
Tremendous job by Sparks by plugging up that hole. What that allowed was Spencer Coward to come in. He was blitzing on the opposite side, ran down the line of scrimmage, and swallowed him up from behind.
Cougars getting in Cameron Shackelford also this defensive series. Second down, still in 15. Call it no gain. Clock inside 10.5 minutes. Time remaining in this first half. 7-7 tie. Marian scored first, and Aaron Harris from 2 yards out to tie up the ball game. Now Gore again in motion to the far side as Lucas Johnson wants to throw to him. A wide open catch. Nobody near the receiver inside the 20, and they are going to have close to a touchdown. He's down to the 2.
Wow.
I can't tell you who that is, Sean. I can't read the numbers.
No, he's
here.
on the far side of the field, too. Even with my glasses on, I wouldn't be able to tell it's those jerseys, Joe. But what a tremendous play by Marian that time. That had to have been some blown coverage, and it looks like we've got a timeout on the field.
So timeout called by USF, giving up the big play with 9:57 remaining, 7-7 tie, but it'll be first and goal at the 1 for Marian. When we return to Darcy Stadium, I'll tell you, we'll keep things right here for Sean.
Yeah, let's go ahead and keep it right here, Joe. Just a reminder, football fans, that if you can hear this game, it's thanks to our communication sponsor, Dr. Todd and Mary Briscoe and Briscoe Family Dentistry. Their generous financial support helps make this Redeemer Radio Sports broadcast possible. If you need emergency dental care, call Dr. Briscoe at 260-486-9950.
Well, that might have been the tight end Brandon Dillon on that last catch, because it was a big fella, 6'5" is Brandon Dillon. It was not Kershawn Hogan, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I think you could very well be right, Joe. 86 is on his jersey. And fine throw, plenty of time that time, and gets right down the field wide open. Had at least a 5-yard bubble, if not more. And Marian made it count.
You could have caught that, Sean.
Yeah, maybe. With a good breakfast.
Again, Wildcat formation with Hogan back there. He ran for the first score. Had 5 in the playoffs a year ago against St. Francis with the same Wildcat formation. Backs away again with 20 seconds on the play clock. It's first and goal at the 1 as Marian looks to take the lead back. We got an H-back off to the right side, but Hogan runs that way to the right, and second effort didn't get in. Cougars knocked him down just short of the goal line. Pearson Harnish slowed him up.
Yeah, he tried to bounce it outside after that initial hit, and the rest of the Cougars were right there. Again, that net of defense with the silver helmets flowing to Hogan. He is slippery. Wow.
Same formation again. Hogan backs away. A lot of time on the play clock. 9:30 remaining in the first half. They do have 2 wide to the left, but again, you expect to see Hogan trying to run with it. He does run to the left, and he will step into the end zone, being chased untouched. Officially a touchdown run, the second of the ball game for Kershawn Hogan at the 9:19 mark, and game is kind of starting to look like a lot of that playoff game last year.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Hogan, again, what I notice about him, Joe, is that his feet move so fast. He doesn't have a huge stride, but he has chop steps and very nervous runner. And again, he gets that energy flowing, and as soon as he finds that hole, he is off.
Plesac on to try to give him a 1-touchdown, 7-point lead again, and looks good and is good. So 9:19 remains in the first half. Marian by a touchdown on top once again here in Fort Wayne, 14-7. And we will take a 30-second timeout. Be back with more. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM Northeast Indiana.
Tri-State Warehousing is one of the most complete service-oriented companies in the warehousing field today. Located in Fort Wayne, Tri-State Warehousing is a 50,000 square foot dry and temperature-controlled storage facility, serving 2/3 of the continental U.S. with overnight rail service. The dedicated staff and specialty services of Tri-State Warehousing are known throughout the industry. For great things in store, call Tri-State Warehousing, 260-436-2010. That's 260-436-2010.
Well, for the Cougars, it's try again to load it up and get going. They are on the short end of a 14-7 score. And Justin Green back in kick return, this time moving from right to left, hoping for a good return. Gave you some of his numbers earlier. For the year, he's had 4 kickoff returns, has a long of 31. Last week had a long of 19 against Lindenwood Belleville. And back there once again, trying to anticipate which way the kickoff is going to come. And a little shorter variety this time, runs up to it now at the 12 or brings it to the 15-20 and stacked up and going nowhere. Got out now another penalty flag thrown. In St. Francis, if it's against the Cougars, they've had a propensity towards some early penalties that have really backed them up.
Yeah, that they have. And let's await the call here, see what we have.
Larry Trexler with, well, everybody that wears stripes is joining in that conversation.
After the play was over, we have a dead ball, personal foul, late hit, number 36 in the kicking team.
Wow, that goes against Marian, a late hit. And it will go against Elijah Golombek. So the first little wrinkle of the day perhaps for the Marian Knights is now USF starts from the Cougar 40-yard line. Well, most of the umbrellas have disappeared, and the weatherman said it would be cloudy, but basically dry till sometime after 3:30. We did have some early showers to begin the ball game. You know very well, Sean, you were down there for the coin toss.
Yeah, it's clearing up nicely here. It's still mostly cloudy, but we see shades of blue beyond those clouds.
So here come the Cougars now with the decent starting position from their own 40-yard line. 1st and 10, moving right to left as Ferrer looks to hand the ball. Green bounces off a tackle, now cuts to the 40-yard line, upfield, and got to the 43, backpedals, holds on to that football. Boy, they just are relentless. Dylan Detmar was there once again to finish off the tackle.
Well, good presence and good moxie there by the running back to find and create some opportunities there. He could have went down with that first hit, but Justin Green doing a fine job getting some extra yards.
Picks up 4 yards now as here is Ferrer. Drops the throw and throws near side, and there's a fingertip catch by Monty McDowell. Oh, they're going to rule it hit the ground. Wow.
I do not agree with that call whatsoever. It was right here in front of us, Joe, and yeah, he did take a hop, but he grabbed it right before he hit the turf. That was a good catch, and unfortunately a bad call.
Where's replay when you need it?
Yeah, that's right.
Kelsaw in there for play, checks out right now, so it's going to be 3rd down and 6. St. Francis trying to reach midfield on this snap.
They need this one.
Green stays in as the running back. 2 wide either side of the field for Ferrer out of the pistol. Motion now, Nicodemus resets. Here's Ferrer, loads up, pulls it down, throws over the middle. He's got to catch Sept Coat, looking for running room. Back pedals, gives ground, works back to the 45 and out of bounds. Near sideline on the Cougar side, inside the 44-yard line, and Sept Coat. Oh, yeah, I tell you what, he's adept at knees, sensitive after he catches that ball. Where do I run? Where can I go?
Yeah, he's looking for that end zone each and every play. And that's tremendous awareness, trying to scrape for any yardage he possibly can.
But now USF sets up at the Marian 44-yard line. McDowell back in wide to the right side. Ferrer looks near side, checks off, throws up into these. He's got Nicodemus at the 40, 35, a first down, and he delivers as much of a blow as he received.
Yes, indeed. Again, Nicodemus not checking in with a lot of stature that time. Had to use all of his 5'9" height. But again, great job by Nick Ferrer to do his checkdowns and find his outlet man alone in the flats to the right side, and Nicodemus took it from there.
Yeah, you gotta love Nicodemus. He plays with determination and delivers as much of the blow as he receives. Ferrer now with another first down, wants to throw again, dances, pulls it down, and he's going down. Back around the 38, did not throw the interception, but took the sack. second of the ball game administered by Marian, and that'll back them up to about the 38.
It's tough. Again, St. Francis had seen some success with the passing game, thought they could stick with it, and that time it just crumbled on them.
You know, you have some success early with that vertical game. You kind of get lulled into thinking it's available every time. It is not.
Right.
McDowell wide to the right. Gegner's in, up on the wing to the right side. And Coate has got single coverage out here to the near side. Two safeties back for Marian on second down and 16. Ferrer wants to throw again. Looks, throw the fade, looking for Coate. In the left corner. He's got a touchdown.
Wow.
58 yards on second and 16. And the Cougars dial up long once again on the 38-yard touchdown toss.
That was beautiful. What an execution that time. Coate had great coverage, too. The safety was on his way over. He was 2 steps away from getting a hand on that ball, but Nick Ferrer puts it right on the money in stride, and Coates hits pay dirt.
Well, the Cougars have yet to lead today, but they've played twice from behind. And now a conversion away from a new game once again, as Nix gets ready to attempt the tying extra point. 7:02 remaining in the first half. And so far, this has been the battle that everyone expected, number 1 against number 2. Right-footed kick on the way, long enough again, and a tie game. 14-14 here in Fort Wayne. Marian and St. Francis 1 against 2. We'll be back. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Hello, sports fans. This is Father Bob Garrow, chaplain at Bishop DeWanger High School. It is time to get geared up for our fall sports season. Whether competing on the soccer field, golf, or cross-country course, volleyball court, or on the gridiron, we wish good luck and great sportsmanship to all our student athletes and their teams. May we become the saints we are called to be. Saint Sebastian, pray for us.
Football fans, historic St. Felix Catholic Center is open for retreats. Located in Huntington, Indiana on 30 scenic acres with plenty of recreational areas and a serene Blessed Mother Grotto. St. Felix Catholic Center is the perfect location for a single day of prayer to overnight retreats. It's the former home of Venerable Solanus Casey, so you can plan your visit today by visiting them online at www.sfcatholiccenter.com.
New game here at Darcy Stadium as, again, the long ball sets up for a touchdown. Nick Ferrer on the money and had just enough time to deliver it away and right into the streaking hands of Seth Coate. Now the kickoff high end over end. And it will not be Jakari Gore. It will go into the end zone for a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 at the Marian 25. So Nick's got a lot of leg into the football that time. And we look at the Cougar defense coming out. Played well at times here in the first half. Lucas Sparks at defensive end. And Blake Blaker comes out there along with Eric Hemmelgarn. He's had a couple of big plays early in this first half. Pearson Harnish out there as well. And how about Wilmer Cole made a big tackle on 4th down bid by Marian to stop them.
That's exactly right, Joe. One of the things we really are looking at, though, are they suspect against the big play? Again, the goal line defense against Marian, very tough to do. They run that wildcat with Hogan, but can they stop that big play is the question.
Now it is Lucas Johnson, though, in there at quarterback, and he'll look to go check it. I think that's Maurice Woodard in there and tries to run off tackle left. Not much running room there.
No, good slant that time by the defense. They were slanting in the right direction, and Harnish on a run blitz through the middle really plugged up a hole. He had to bounce it out to the left side, and nothing was there.
If that is Woodard, he's a sophomore, 205, 6'1". And I don't think we've seen Robert Gibson in today. It's very, very tough, as we talked about, to see these Marian numerals against the gray background. There's no contrast with that yellow goal that just kind of is small. And here's a run now up the middle and stumbling across the 30 up to the 32-yard line. And see if we get a better angle now.
It's a single digit, Joe.
Yeah, I think that is Woodard. That's all we can tell you. So it'll be 3rd down and 3. They're trying to reach their own 35-yard line on this snap.
Yeah, that's number 5, Woodard. Yeah.
The one day I forgot the binoculars. Shotgun formation again. And Hogan is in the ball game to the near side. He's got Wilmer Cole on him. Still 13 on the play clock. And they're going to shift Woodard now. Offset to the right of Lucas Johnson. He looks to throw the quick pass. Knocked away. Nishan Lewis was there. He had some help. No penalty flag. It'll bring up 4th down. And there's a big play now for St. Francis defensively.
You're absolutely right. Lewis was there along with Spencer Coward. It was a tough pattern. It was a tight pattern. 2 receivers over there, and both the defenders doing a great job knocking that ball away and getting in traffic.
First punt of the day coming up for the Knights. Brandon Dowers, 3 punts last week, had a long of 42. He'll be waiting the snap back at his own 17. Sean Boswell at the Cougar 35. Open for a chance at big return. Good delivery. Side style kick. And Boswell fields it at the 36. Up the middle, 40, 45. Running room, but midfield spins. Gets into Marian Knight territory down to the 48. That is a nifty play by Sean Boswell, who came in with 5 punt returns last week, had a long of 17. He's number 3 among Mid-State Football Association punt returners, averaging 15.1 yards, and now we have a Knight down at midfield.
Yeah, Boswell, he is so crafty on the field down there. He is slippery, and he gets sideways, makes people miss, spins out of tackles, and gets some good positive yards. And it looks like they're going to actually mark this one at the 47 now. But we still have a Knight down on the field.
And we have a timeout down below. 5:27 remains as the Cougars, will they have a chance to take their first lead of the day? We'll find out. We'll take a 30-second timeout and be back with more Cougar football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Amore's Pizza proudly supports Catholic sports. Try our Chicago-style stuffed pizza made with top-quality meats and cheeses. Your mouth will taste the difference. We also offer gluten-free options or many unique items. Amore's Pizza is located at 933 East DuPont Road, right off Coldwater. Full menu and specials can be found at amorespizza.net or call 490-9099. Amore's Pizza, where our food is made with love.
Still working on the fallen Knight at the USF 49-yard line. We will tell you other games going on elsewhere today in the Mid-States Football Association. Taylor hosting Missouri Baptist today. Concordia at USF Illinois, a crossover game. Lindenwood Belleville, after the beating here last week, they're taking the week off and healing up. And Siena Heights is also idle today. Of course, we'll be there at Adrian, Michigan next week. So the Saints have a week to prepare. And that looks like it's Micah Brown, I believe, that was injured but walking off the field under his own power, so looked like he just had his bell rung.
Yeah, number 41, Micah Brown, he's a junior, 6 foot 235. He's going to be okay, just needs a splash and some time off.
But USF setting up, I believe, the first time today with a first down to begin into Marian territory at the 47. They'll work from the left side hash mark. They'll run the ball, and here is P.J. Dean looking for some running room. Stepped out of one tackle, but couldn't get away his second time and has no gain, maybe just a half a yard at most.
A lot of hopping by Dean there as he tries to make the edge, and again, pursuer after pursuer finally trips him up after a very little gain.
You know, Marion's got great technique. I mean, they dive through and they look for the ankles. And very tough if you're a running back. You've got to hop and try to dodge that, but you lose momentum at the same time.
Right.
Gagner in up on the right wing. Monte McDowell in their wide right. Now they're giving him a lot of room. 2 safeties back for the Knights now. 4:48 remains in the first half. Ferrer taking a look. And there's a penalty flag, and they blew it dead. And that's going to be procedure against St. Francis.
Yeah, the blitz was coming. They were stunning, doing a curl through the middle there. And I think the offensive, well, that was on Ferrer is who they called that on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that moves the ball back to the U.S. side of midfield, just inside the Cougar 49-yard line. Comes 2nd down and 14. Ferrer with the troops huddled up. Now they come out of the huddle. Crowd very quiet right now. McDowell wide to the right. He caught a big pass earlier that set up a touchdown. Now he resets, but still wide to the right side as Ferrer looks near side. And looking, and he waited too long.
Yep,
They've got him sacked again.
Wow.
you know, you've just got to make those quicker decisions. If it's not there, then get rid of it.
Yeah, Kelsall was actually wheeling out to the flats out here on the left side, and the lane was there, the pass was there, and he checked off. So I don't know that Ferrer saw that or made that decision, thought the pocket would last longer, but it surely did not.
Loss is back to the 42-yard line, and that's at least the third sack of the ball game for Marian. Now Cote is alone wide to the near side. And he's defended by Jerron Clark. Third down and very long is Ferrer. Looks to throw, steps up, dances, throws over the middle, and tough shot. That's a catch made, I believe. Let's see if now they're going to rule it. No catch.
Wow.
Going down was Akeem Kelsall to try to pick it off the turf at the 40. That would have been short of the first down, but close enough to maybe give him some room for thought to go for it on fourth down. As it is, we'll see Josh Spitnail back after the broken hand that has kept him out, broken finger actually, that kept him out for, what, three games, I think.
Well, that's tough, Joe. They started out at the 47, best field position of the game so far for St. Francis, and they can't do anything with it.
Spitnail, before he got hurt, had 4 punts, averaging 38 yards a punt, and had along a 44. Low snap, picks it up, kicks it away high, hanging ball. Gore backpedaling inside the 15 to the 13. Wants to run to his left, now comes up the middle and gets across the 15 only to about the 16-yard line. And what do we have? Penalty flag thrown. Back up field at about the 40. Manuel Evans credited with getting in on the play, but let's see which way the penalty goes this time. It'll be interesting to see the halftime stats. USF has been penalized a lot in the first half. Holding the call against Marian.
All right.
That'll move them back half the distance to the goal, to about the 7.
Well, again, all knotted up here with 3 minutes to go in the first half, and now they are deeper into their own territory. It'll be interesting to see what package that Marian comes up with here, if they go for the big hit or if they just try and grind this out before half.
Well, that's not half the distance, guys. Let's see. They're now going to walk off a little bit more inside the 10, and they will put it down eventually at the 7.
I think they're trying to do the math. We're going to have a conversation here.
Where's my wife, math teacher, when you need her? Oh, they got 3 guys out there. Maybe bring a calculator, pocket calculator,
Could
right?
very well be. So, I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. Let's try the 7. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Subtract the 12, carry the 3. So Marian, poor starting position now from their own 7-yard line. And look out for Krishan Hogan. Wide to the left side. Blitz coming defensive right side, being shown by USF. Johnson picks that up, though. Looks to hand the ball off. Here's Gore up the middle. Reaches the 10. He'll pick up 3.
Great slashing tackle there by St. Francis, trying to get in. I think that's Spencer Coward coming in on the edge, and he's coming up hobbled and coming off the field.
It's still running pretty good, though.
Yeah,
so I think that's momentary issue.
Marcus Sept coming in, the standout from Bishop Dwenger High School.
Clock becoming a factor now. We have 2:47. Clock is moving. 2nd down and 7 at the 10. And Johnson wants to play action fake, throws the ball. He's got Hogan, and he lost the catch. Sean Lewis, did he intercept it? No, he dropped the ball.
Oh, what a gift.
That one hung in the air. Hogan deflected it up in the air, but Lewis was eyed up on stopping Hogan and couldn't corral it.
Well, again, Hogan is so fast. He was coming on the interior slant, and again, the ball was thrown behind him. He had to go back and try and hook it into his arm, and he couldn't do it.
Now they got to get out to their 17 on this snap. Cougars still with 2 timeouts remaining. Marian all 3. And they back away with 16 on the play clock. Cougars trying to get pressure. They've really not been much in the face of Lucas Johnson today, but they've made some plays nonetheless. Now empty backfield is Johnson being, and they've got him at the goal line.
Is that a safety?
No, he's going to be ruled 4th down, just across the goal line. That was close, as the Cougars will force a punt. And Jordan May, one of those that applied the pressure.
And now we've got a timeout. St. Francis, I think, is going to burn a timeout here because there's 2 minutes and 22 seconds left, and they're going to get the ball back in really good shape.
So there is a timeout.
Timeout, Cougars.
2:22 on the clock. We're in a 14-14 tie, and will this be the opportunity for St. Francis to get their first lead of the day? We'll find out. We'll step out after a 30-second timeout. This is Cougar Football and Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend, and diamonds are forever. And since 1988, Peter Franklin has been bringing you the finest diamonds imported from overseas diamond cutters. Peter Franklin Jewelers. Jewelry created from concept to completion by our master goldsmiths on staff. Peter Franklin Jewelers, with 3 locations to serve you: New Haven, DuPont Road, and Angola. Remember, it's not just jewelry, it's Peter Franklin.
Well, this game, Sean McBride has had some twists and turns. At the beginning, you would have thought it was going to be a Marian rout, but the Cougars have prevailed, have hung in there, and now the punt by Dowers will come. He's at the end line. He needs a good snap here, and got it. Right side Styles kick, and Boswell's got it at the 36. Cuts to the 30-yard line and will reach maybe the 34. They had pretty good downfield coverage, but USF with great field position at inside the 30-yard line of Marian and trying to take their first lead of the day.
Well, here they go. Again, this is the second drive with great field position, brought to you by the St. Francis Cougar defense. And again, Boswell doing a fine job setting them up on a good return. They're going to mark this ball right at the 30-yard line. So 30 yards to go for a score and 2 minutes on the clock. This is completely doable for the St. Francis Cougars.
P.J. Dean will be the running back du jour coming out there. Nicodemus also comes onto the field. He has played well in this first half.
Yeah, he sure has.
And Ferrer has made some good throws and a couple of not-so-good throws. Been up and down, but he's hung in there. The young quarterback and looking to make a play right now. And wants to throw, and they've got him for a sack. They didn't buy the faked handoff, and he's dropped for a loss back outside the 35.
That is tough. Boy, oh boy. They tried to play action right there, and the defensive ends came crashing in on both sides, and Nick Ferrer felt that one.
So that's going to be a loss of 6, second down and 16. And right now, even a field goal looms large in a tie ball game with 1:48. You got to have some positive yardage, though. 2 wide to the left side for the Cougars on second and long. Here's Ferrer, and they've got him again. He couldn't get rid of the ball. Stepped up to the 40 only.
Yeah, and there he is again from the defensive end position, number 92, Dylan Dittemore, with another sack on the day. And I think St. Francis is going to have to burn a timeout here.
They're going to take their final. We'll keep things right here with 1:29. And well, a drive that started so promising inside the 40-yard line at the 35. But you've got to make plays. And Cougars just have not had the time for Ferrer to make those throws. And Marian's made him pay.
Well, I would love to see a Max Pro set up here with 2 men in the backfield protecting those ends, because I think if, in fact, they can keep again, Dittemore and Mullings off of Nick Ferrer, I think our receiver corps has the ability to find some open space downfield.
You need about 15 yards, and you got maybe realistically be thinking about a potential field goal at this point. You've got it. It's 3rd down and 20 at the 40-yard line, but if you can get down a good 15 yards down to the 25 and give Ryan Nix a chance at a long field goal to give you the lead headed to the dressing room, that would be large. Rocky James has checked into the game along with Kelsall. They'll be sent wide to the right side. Whatever it is, it's got to be quick. Empty backfield now for Ferrer. He'll wait and take the snap back around his own, the Marian 47. 3 wide to the left, 2 wide to the right. Gegner ready to snap the ball to him. Ferrer looks, screens the ball near side. Coates got it, cuts to the 40, 35, 30, and gets down to the 27. Now, is that enough yardage on 4th down? And what will Kevin Downley do? They want to run a play. It'll be 4th down. They hurry up to the line of scrimmage. Same set, empty backfield for Ferrer. They're disdaining the field goal. They will try, and now we're going to have a timeout called by Marian, I'm sure, to set their defense. So the chess match continues with 1:13 remaining in this first half. I tell you what, let's take a quick 30-second break. Tie game here in Fort Wayne, number 1 against number 2, 14 all. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Redeemer Radio gladly thanks Dr. Mark Stoner, a St. Jude parishioner, for underwriting a portion of our programming. Dr. Stoner offers comprehensive dentistry for every family member. Dr. Stoner can be found at 9830 Auburn Road. For more information regarding all your dental needs, it can be found on the web at markstonerdds.com or at 260-484-4181.
Just checking some of the numbers. Ferrer a year ago, 7-of-7 in field goals, had a long of 42. And that might be just about what he is, well, maybe a little bit longer than that. But right now, let's see if the Cougars rethink their strategy. It'll be 4th down and 8. They would have to get to the Marian 20-yard line with 1:13 on the clock, and still we do not see the field goal kicker.
No.
So the Cougars with Coate in the slot to the right side. No, it's not Rocky James. It's McDowell to the left side. And 4th and still long, but at the 28. Ferrer drops the throw. Rush is coming. Throws to the left. And look, and he's got McDowell to get a foot in bounds. He did.
Good.
At the 16-yard line, Monte McDowell. Wow, he has stepped up today.
That is some senior leadership on display right there between Ferrer and McDowell, doing a fine job on that hookup. Threw the ball exactly where only McDowell could grab it. He did, stepped out of bounds, stops the clock with a fresh set of downs.
You talked about it earlier, Sean McBride, spot on observation. The Cougars had not converted on 4th down, but today they have.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Two on the day so far.
Now USF no timeouts remaining, 1:08 on the clock. So you got to be careful about time management and where you put the ball into play. Harris is the running back as Ferrer out of the pistol. Short drop again. They're coming over the middle. He's got Coate. Coate at the 10. Backpedals to the 6. Clock is running. 1 minute still remaining.
Not enough for a first down, but they're inside the 10 now, threatening to score. Under a minute to play. That's exciting, Joe.
Cougars adjusting the more quick hitting plays we're seeing, and they hurry up to the line of scrimmage again. 44 seconds remaining. Kelso now, they reshift him to the right side, part of a trips package out there. And Ferrer with Coate wide to the left to throw the fade to him, looking to make the catch, and well, they were holding on to him.
Yeah.
And a penalty flag finally thrown.
Yep, I saw him reaching for his belt, and of course you got to throw that. The defender was not looking at the ball, was all over Coate like a cheap suit, and the flag was thrown.
So 32 seconds remain.
And more importantly, Joe, that does stop the clock and gives St. Francis some time to think about these plays.
Clark draws that flag, the junior, who leads them with 7 passes defended and 7 broken up. Number 1 in the Mid-States Football Association. But remember, he goes 6 foot, but Sept Coate at 6'3", and that ability to go up and get it vertically.
I love the play call. That fade over to the corner right there to Coate. That's a moneymaker for St. Francis.
Harrison is the running back. It's 1st and goal at the 2, but you're not in yet. Clock stopped. Gegner in motion now left to right behind the line of scrimmage, and Ferrer, it's got a wide open Boswell for a touchdown catch. 2 yards on the scoring toss with 28.7 seconds. And get this, folks, Cougars have taken their first lead of the day at 20-14.
Beautiful. I don't know how Boswell did it, but he found deep in the end zone a space to sit. Ferrer eyes him, guns it to him, and he is right there wide open, and a beautiful touchdown throw and catch by your St. Francis Cougars.
Boswell was the main factor last year down at Indianapolis with 2 catches in the 4th quarter, including the game winner. Now Ryan Nix will attempt the extra point, trying to give the Cougars a 7-point lead. First time they've led today here at home. Boswell with the hold, right-footed kick, long enough, and good. So we'll keep things right here. 21-14 our score. And Sean, I tell you what, this game has had all twists and turns. You know, you looked at the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, you would have thought, boy, this is not going to be St. Francis Day. They are making mistakes. The interception by Ferrer turned into Krishan Hogan, who's run for a couple of scores. But This Cougar team has been resilient, and it's a 60-minute game, not 20 minutes, not 30 minutes, and we'll see what prevails the rest of the way.
Well, you said it, Joe. Resilience is the key right here. Beyond the mistakes that they've made, they've come back. They believe in themselves. They believe in each other, and it shows on the scoreboard right now. And that score is actually really huge, considering we're going right into halftime. The defense needs to hold for a play or two here and go in with some great momentum, because, again, with Marian deferring at the kickoff, they get the ball in the second half. So this is very important, these last 28.7 seconds, that the defense shows up and shuts down Mr. Hogan and company on the Marian offense.
We always talk about the game of football, a lot of life lessons, but in every life you're going to have ups and downs, and that's been kind of symbolic here today in this football game. A lot of football to be played, and we're not done yet with this first half. Still 28.7 seconds remaining, but St. Francis now has scored the game's last 14 points to lead it for the first time today. Gore dancing around inside the 15 as Nix hopes to pin him back with a long kickoff. No, it's a short pooch catch far side. That'll be a fair catch at the 21. So that took no time off the clock. And we will see what Marian can do with 2 timeouts remaining and just about a half minute on the clock.
Well, and I like the play call there, too, on the kickoff team. Just a high kick, fair catch called for, no chance for a big return by Gore. So, again, smart play. One of the things we really haven't commented on, Joe, the crowd today is fantastic. They are lining the chain link fence out there, 2-3 deep. The tents are full. The Bruce Dye Training Center is full. The stands are full. Fort Wayne has shown up for this classic matchup.
What would you expect? Number 1 against number 2, right? They're just going to take a knee. Johnson goes down, and they will go back to the dressing room, try to regroup both teams here. But USF somehow finding a way to lead this number 1 Marian offense 21-14 here at halftime. And we will take a timeout, and we'll be back with our halftime presentation. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
The Midwest goes by many names. The Heartland, the Corn Belt, the crossroads of America. But for you, it has another, more important one. Home. It stands for the simple things: family dinners, baseball games, and long country drives with the windows down, bonfires, barbecues, and ice cream cones on a Sunday afternoon. And it stands for the values that make all of these things possible. You've built your life around Midwestern values. At Midwest America Federal Credit Union, we have too. That's why we've dedicated ourselves to supporting our members as they work toward their dreams. As your hometown financial partners, we offer practical, dependable service. And since 1936, hardworking families have trusted us to help them with their most important purchases, from mortgages to auto loans and everything in between. Midwest America Federal Credit Union, for your home, for your family.
With Sean McBride, I'm Joe Carson. We're back at
It's the halftime.
Joe, I'm running the intro. Hold on.
Scores, stats, and insights. Here's Joe and the sports team.
A little eager on the get-go here at RC Stadium with Sean McBride. I'm Joe Parson. Glad you could join us for this major matchup in NAIA football today here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Number 1 Marian, defending national champions, against number 2 ranked University of St. Francis Cougars. And this game up and down for both teams. You know, you looked at the start of the ball game, an interception by Ferrer gave Marian the possession at the 40, and that would lead up to Krishan Hogan touchdown run of 2 yards, running out of the Wildcat formation at the 3:03 mark, and Marian so easy. Plesac with the extra point led it 7-0. But a big stop on 4th down. Wilmer Cole, as Marian gambled, and USF was able to take over and deny any further scoring by Marian at their own 33. And that would lead to a big second quarter. 21 points scored by USF in that second quarter. Started after a big Monte McDowell catch down inside the 10 that would lead to a 2-yard touchdown run by Aaron Harris inside of 12 minutes remaining in that second quarter. Nix with the extra point to tie it up at 7-7. And then Hogan would get break the tie. Again, working out of the, they had a catch down to the 1 yard line, but he would set up out of the Wildcat, running virtually untouched into the end zone from 1 yard out at the 9:19 mark. Plesac add the extra point. Marian on top once again at 14-7. But then some big plays. Ferrer on second down and long would find Sept open in the left corner of the end zone. Good for 38 yards and a touchdown at the 7:02 mark. Nix's extra point tie the game up at 14-all. And then in the final moments, and with 28 seconds remaining, it would be Ferrer to Sean Boswell just inside the, over the middle of the field, inside the end line. Good for 2 yards and a touchdown. A pass interference call set that up at 1st and goal at the 2. And Nix with the extra point to make it 21-14. So, you know, sometimes you just have to fight through all the adversity of things that happen during a typical college football game, but St. Francis has managed to weather the storm somewhat.
Well, they surely have, Joe, and hats off. Again, you talked about the resilience, and that's exactly what's been on display here. Have there been mistakes? You bet, absolutely. Has the Nick Ferrer, the quarterback, been pressured too much and gone down? Absolutely, but they have found a way. They haven't lost heart. They haven't become disgruntled or led into despair. The play has shown brilliance at times, and that's what they're hanging their hats on. They go into the locker room really with a tremendous amount of momentum here. They're not playing from behind anymore. They have all day so far. But again, when the time is right and required, they go in with the lead into the halftime. So hats off to the Cougars today, playing a great job.
Certainly a heavyweight matchup here today in Fort Wayne. And, you know, you may lose a lot of the statistical battles, you know, when in the final analysis, but the only stat that really matters is on that scoreboard. And right now it shows 21-14 St. Francis, but still another 30 minutes to play. And you know that Mark Henninger is in that dressing room and analyzing how they've got to deal with Seth Coate and Monte McDowell now, who stepped up. And how about the run game for St. Francis with Nicodemus and P.J. Dean and Aaron Harris? And, you know, they're not really ostentatious. They're not the flashy type of runners. Guess what? They don't go down without a battle.
They surely don't. We've seen them dragging tacklers all day long. We've seen them running square, their shoulders square, heads down, bowling through that line, especially Nicodemus, just so really on display today with his ability not only in the backfield to block and help the offensive line, but really to drag tacklers with him when they need those extra 3 yards. They've been there, and what a blessing it is to have such a stable full of good running backs. Always have fresh legs in there. And all three of these kids are just doing a fantastic job for the Cougars today.
We have not seen the official halftime numbers yet at this point, but one impression I had was you look at Ja'Cory Gore, who's a talented runner. He likes to run wide, and he's patient. He waits for the blocking to set up. But USF has done a great job, I thought, by and large, of denying him turning that corner. They've contained very well against Gore.
No, you're absolutely right, Joe. And the safeties have done a good job of that, scouting him, ghosting him across the field. When he gets to that edge, there's Spencer Coward, there's Nashawn Lewis, and the other host of defenders in the backfield that have done a fine job keeping not only an eye on their receivers, but also on the backfield as well. So hats off to the St. Francis defense in those situations.
And throw in Wilmer Cole also with a driving tackle of Gore on they were driving and going on fourth down, and tackled him with a driving tackle for a loss that set up a good USF offense. So again, ups and downs, like the game of life is oftentimes, and sometimes you're discouraged when things aren't going well, and then sometimes you look to the good man upstairs, and we'll see. I know he's not involved necessarily in the game of football with favorites in these two Catholic universities. And by the way, we really haven't talked about something new this year. They're playing for the Franciscan Cup. That's something new, that'll be like a traveling trophy, and I know you got to see it online. What were your impressions?
I did. It's big. It's beautiful. It's on a square base and a very large football sitting on top of it as far as that goes. So hats off to whoever created that and really came up with the idea. It's a neat twist. St. Francis leads this series 6-5 overall so far. And so, again, another reason, another great rivalry. You know, we talk about small ball school, and here it is on display in its finest, Joe, and that traveling trophy is just another aspect that people can get excited about year after year.
We talked about Mark Henninger and what maybe is being analyzed and discussed in the Marian dressing room. How about with Kevin Donnelly and his son Pat Donnelly and as they look at the adjustments, the vertical passes are high risk, high reward. When they work, it's great, and they did a couple of times. The Sept touchdown catch, Monte McDowell's catch that set up a touchdown, but also at least 3 sacks, maybe 4 by Marian, because Ferrer's not going to have a lot of time. And you wonder about some of the adjustments. USF going more to the quick passing routes, possession type of passes, had more success. But again, you roll the dice with those vertical plays. They can pay off big dividends when they work.
Yeah, they surely can. You're exactly right. Now, you've got a quarterback in Nick Ferrer that if they do go vertical or do some crossing routes or some drag routes to give him extra looks and extra opportunities, that's great. But like you said, Joe, you called it. And when those plays take time to develop, you've got to give him that time. And so far, they've been a little deficient in the first half, giving him that time.
I've got to give credit to Nick Ferrer after that first bad thrown ball that was intercepted to set up the lead touchdown for Marian. You know, you talk about players, especially quarterbacks, have to have that next play mentality. You forget about the bad things that happen. You go back to what works and what's your scheme that you think that's going to be productive. And he basically has done that. And, yeah, it's been up. It's been down at times. But they've hung in there. We use the term resiliency. And he, along with the rest of the Cougar offense, have found a way somehow to give them a lead here at 21-14.
Well, and we talked about, Pat Donnelly and the offensive schemes and coaches. What we saw when they came back out after that interception on offense, we saw a couple of quick hitters. We saw some hitches and a couple screens. So, again, that helps build that confidence for Ferrer. Don't let him start out, again, with a long ball, standing back in the pocket, hoping it goes well, trying his best. Let's go with a high percentage shot. They did that, when they came back out after that interception. And then you could see Ferrer getting back into his game. And so, again, hats off to the offensive coordination to get Ferrer that confidence, again, in his throwing ability. And then it, again, paid off when they went deep.
Okay, put on your coaching hat for me now. Let's go into that Cougar dressing room. And, you look at some of the subtle differences. I think defensively they have basically come up with a really sound plan other than Krishan Hogan running out of the Wildcat.
Can you even defend him, though? I mean, that's the question, yeah.
But offensively, any other subtle adjustments you might see by this Cougar offense in the second half?
Well, again, I think if they do tend to go vertical, which I know they do, they've got the weapons for it. I, again, would like to see Nicodemus in the backfield, along with maybe another P.J. Dean back for a max pro look. 2 men in the backfield, and then let your playmakers make plays, if you will. If you're going to go deep, I honestly think Coate and McDowell and Akeem Kelsall has the speed and ability to get away from those defenders. We've seen it today. So let's give Ferrer some more time and more protection in the backfield, and let the playmakers make plays.
We were almost incredulous. Krishan Hogan, who had 2 drop footballs in the first half. Now, again, effective running out of the Wildcat, 2 rushing touchdowns. But you wonder if he'll be more of a marked man from a Mark Henninger standpoint, trying to get the ball into his hands. I don't know that he had, a catch earlier in the ball game, but he's been fairly limited as far as receiving.
Yeah, he surely has, and that is surprising. Again, we saw it even... Well, to hearken to last night, we saw Bishop Lures trying to air the ball out consistently, and their quarterback went 3 for 18. Well, with such weapons in the backfield that they have, like Jalen Charlton, Tyran Hambright, why didn't you run the ball more? Here today. You've got such a weapon in Hogan. Why aren't you passing the ball more to him? And again, I think the quarterback, it's a timing issue. When we saw those drops there, Joe, the ball was thrown behind him. He had to go back and try and catch it in the crook of his arm. So again, if in fact they can get on the same page, the ball can be thrown in front of him or right at him. Again, he is so fast. If they can get that timing down, he will once again emerge as a very dangerous player on the field.
We are at halftime in this battle to be number one. Number 1, Marian against St. Francis, number 2. Let's take a 1-minute timeout. We'll be back with more of our halftime presentation. USF in the lead here after 30 minutes at home over number 1, Marian, 21-14. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Are you looking for an orthopedic specialist? Ortho Northeast has been serving the community for over 50 years with offices in 3 convenient locations. Look for the location nearest you. Dr. John Pritchard is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon with 20 years of experience with OME and can assist you with the best treatment plan for your knee or shoulder pain. Dr. John Pritchard is looking forward to meeting you and helping with all orthopedic needs. Call Dr. Pritchard at 260-484-8551 or visit the web at www.orthone.com.
Life is a journey to God. We stumble, we get lost, we lose the light. The best way to navigate the journey is turning to the Catholic faith. Our daily life of spouse, children, neighbors, the stress of work and worry often lead us away from Christ. Whatever your trials, temptations, or tribulations, the Catholic faith is here. You can find the message of hope, trust, and
I don't believe so.
Here on Redeemer Radio. Welcome home to your family of faith.
Well, we are seeing some of the specialists coming out for both teams right now, and still hoping to have a chance to look at the official halftime numbers. Might have a chance to look on a screen here, and really can't pick out those numbers. There's some distortion going on with our video monitor today. We will tell you 21-14. Cougars trailed by 7-0 at the end of the first quarter, but they've outscored Marian in the second quarter 21-7, and that does not happen often. And does not look like we're going to have any other numbers elsewhere. Let's take a look at some of the numbers of these two teams coming in as Sean McBride gets ready to make his way down to field level to check in with Coach Kevin Donnelly and his halftime comments. Well, we mentioned number 1 and number 2, and that's for a reason. As far as the ranking, they are number 1 and number 2 in so many of the Mid-States Football Association statistical categories. Marian comes in averaging 52.2 points a ball game, giving up just 10.8 a game. Cougars have scored 21 on them already in this first half, but those are number 1 stats to lead the MSFA. Cougars number 2 in the same categories, averaging 48 points a ball game, giving up 11.8, and of course they've given up 14 to the Marian Knights here in the first half. Cougars have the edge offensively in pass offense, averaging 338.3 at 335 last week against Lindenwood Belleville. And number 2 is Marian, offensively through the air, averaging 306.5 yards a game. Pass defense, and here's a big difference. St. Francis number 1 in the conference, giving up 146.2, while Marian is 5th only, giving up an average of 215.2 yards a game through the air. Rushing offense, though, it's Marian. They had 413 yards gained last week against Missouri Baptist on the road. And number 1 in the conference now overall, averaging over 257 yards a ball game. Cougars have relied more on a balanced offensive attack and coming in averaging 154 a game, which is number 5. But Marian against the run, very strong this year, giving up less than 62 yards a ball game. Gave up just 49 against Missouri Baptist last week. And the Cougars respectable, 3rd best in the MSFA, giving up 100.2 yards a ball game and just 82 to Lindenwood Belleville last week. Now let's take a look at some of these numbers as Sean waits for the players to come out here with about 5 minutes remaining. As far as total offensive yards and plays in the ball game, very even, as Marian has run 31 plays for 147. Cougars with 36 plays executed for 179. Some of the individual numbers: there's been no fumbles in the ball game, 1 interception, as Ferrer was intercepted early in the ball game, led to a touchdown. Penalties: Cougars with 5 for 41, and Marian with, Marian with 5 for 41. And let's go down and check in with Sean and the coach.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. I've got Coach Donnelly here. Coach, tremendous momentum gain going into the first half or halftime right there. What was your message during halftime?
Well, we just got to keep playing hard. We actually shot ourselves in the foot many times. You know, these are the 2 best teams in the country. We're just going to have to exchange punches, remain tough, keep our emotions about us, and take control of the game and keep doing what we've been doing. Any major adjustments coming in the second half? No. No. Thanks, Coach. Good luck. Back to you, Joe.
He does get to the point. You ask him a question, yes or no, it's no. I want to continue on real quick. A couple of key stats, I thought. 3rd down conversions. Marian was just 1 of 5 in that first half. St. Francis not a lot better, 2 of 8. But in 4th down conversions, the Knights were 0 for 1 and St. Francis 2 for 2. Both teams with 2 red zone scoring opportunities, both have cashed in. We're going to take a timeout, and we'll be back with a look at some of the individual numbers, and the second half still remains. 30 minutes to decide who is number 1 after today's end. 21-14 right now. St. Francis on top. This is Cougar Football and Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Programming on Redeemer Radio is underwritten in part by Bob Busher Homes. Floor plan customization is what they specialize in. Find floor plans, building sites, and read Bob's story on the web at bobbusherhomes.com. Bob Busher Homes is locally owned with offices in Fort Wayne and Angola. For more information about new home building or remodeling, Bob Busher Homes can be reached at 260-490-3355.
Back at Darcy Stadium, I'm Joe Parsons. Sean McBride will join me shortly here. Let's take a look at some of the individual numbers, and not much to shout about as far as rushing. Jakari Gore leads Marian with 9 carries and a net 35 gained on the ground. Nobody else in double digits for the Knights. As far as St. Francis, 2 players in double digits. Got Justin Green with 5 carries for net 13 yards gained. Jason Nicodemus, 2 carries for net 12. PJ Dean with 3 carries, 9 yards. As far as the passing, Ferrer through the air, 13 of 20 in the first half for 172, 2 touchdowns. He's been intercepted once, sacked 5 times. Remember, Marian sacked Ferrer 12 times in the 2 games last year, one of which USF won down in Indianapolis. As far as Lucas Johnson, 50%, 5 of 10 through the air, 109, long of 48 yards. He's been sacked once. Hogan has 2 catches for 30 yards. Brandon Dillon 1 for 48. That set up a touchdown by Hogan out of the shotgun. Utter with 1 for 16. Gore with 1 for 15. Seth Code has got 8 catches in the first half, 91 yards, including a touchdown, good for 38 yards. Monty McDowell, big day. 2 catches, 60 yards, along a 46 that set up the Cougar touchdown. Boswell, 2 for 9, including that late touchdown that gave him the lead, and Nicodemus, 1 for 12. Spitnail, 3 punts in the ball game, averaging 42.3 yards a punt along a 48. And Dowers with 3 punts, averaging 34.3 along of 35. Gore with 2 punt returns for a total of 10 yards. Boswell 3 for a total of 27. And tackles, let's take a quick look at that. Coward leads St. Francis with 7 tackles. Holman with 5. And Pearson Harnish has got 5 as well. For Marian, Shepard with a total of 6. Mullings with 5, 1.5 sacks. And Dittamore, who's been a big thorn in the Cougars' offense, 4 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 2.5 tackles for loss. So we are set to go for the second half. 21-14, Marian won the toss, deferred. They'll get the ball to start here in the second half. What's your sense down there talking and looking at the Cougar players, Sean?
The Cougars are still all jacked up, Joe. They came out of the locker room loose. They're jumping around. They're having some fun down there. A lot of fans out there giving out high fives on their way out of the tunnel. And, yeah, they're ready to play. They're ready to go.
So both teams out on their respective sidelines as we are moments away, final seconds ticking away of halftime here. And who will it be that emerges? Will it be Marian still with the number 1 ranking, or will St. Francis forge to the top? We'll find out here in the next 30 minutes or so of game time.
Just a reminder, football fans, Bishop Luers High School is sponsor of today's game. They're a Catholic educational community that instills in each student dignity, integrity, respect, and responsibility. You can catch the Luers spirit by visiting them online at www.bishopluers.org.
El Gore back in kick return. I think he's joined by Trey White back there, who's got 6 kickoff returns along of 40. So they have got some weapons. Nix will tee it up and kick it away from right to left as we're ready to go to work now in the second half. Cougars on top, 21-14. Can they make it stand up? He gets the go-ahead, and Nix approaches, kicks it end over end, down deep. And Gore, 3 yards deep, will bring it out. Across the 5 to the 10. Works to the left side. And there's a penalty flag thrown. He only got out to about the 14 or 15-yard line, and it looked like that's going against Marian on a hold.
Yeah, it could very well be a hold that time. Let's see what the call is. But Blake Schumacher that time for the St. Francis Cougars coming up with a nice stop. Again, we talk about it. Gaston is never really in there on those stops, Joe, but he keeps that lane and forces those players back to his defensive buddies. It's a fantastic job.
It is a hold against Marian. That'll be half the distance. And they're going to start deep in their own territory.
Should be at about the 8.
Opening moments of this second half. There's so many lines down there with the soccer markings. It is at the 8-yard line, 1st and 10. So Lucas Johnson, who is 50% passing, no touchdowns, sets up out of the shotgun formation. Cougars looking zone blitz, coming defensive right side. They'll run the ball with Gore, and he runs into didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe just across the 5. That's it.
Did you see Hemmelgarn on that? What a destroyer. Hemmelgarn was right there. He stood up his blocker, stood his ground, and the running back ran right into the offensive lineman, and that allowed the other defenders to come over and swarm.
Talked about it earlier. Young offensive line, no seniors for Marian. They're talented, but that time Hemmelgarn able to enforce his will. Loss of 1. Pistol alignment again. Lucas Johnson looks, wants to throw out of the end zone. Has time, throws left side. He's got Hogan down there, and he's got the catch across the 45. Cougars had 2 back defending. Holman was there along with Nishan Lewis, but Hogan comes up big early in this second half.
Geez, double coverage. 2 coverage men right there, and the ball was right on the money. He did a deep post that time near the center of the field, went up for it, and again, that height advantage paid off for Hogan, as he was able to come up with a huge catch.
Yeah, he's 6'4", and no doubt that Mark Henniger said, we got to get the ball to our stud.
Yeah.
Now they want to run the ball with Gore. Gore checks off to the right side, and he's got a big gain into Cougar territory down inside the 42-yard line.
Almost a little counter that time. He started left and then followed his line as they were pushing left back to the opposite side right. And there was a wall set up for him and a nice run.
He will pick up 9. Hogan stays in. They'll flip-flop him now to the far side. Deshaun Lewis has got the coverage on him, so it's 2nd down and short. Now they reset Gore off to the right side. They'll hand the ball to him, and he's wrapped up. He may get the first down on second effort. Lucas Sparks finished it off, but Christian Johnson slipped through there and got a left hand wrapped around him.
I don't know if they're going to give it to him or not, Joe.
Not.
Yeah.
Knows the football just inside the 43 of USF. It is 3rd down and a yard still. Cougars trying to adjust their defensive scheme, and Lucas Johnson backs away now. Still 21 on the play clock. Let's see if they try something, maybe a quick pass over the middle to Hogan or something like that. Johnson, they'll hand the ball to Gore, and Gore does angle to the right. I don't know. He may not have got there. I thought he had it initially, but then he was flung backwards.
Hemmelgarn in there on the initial hit along with Sparks.
And they motion 4th down.
Yeah, wow, what a stop there.
No gain. I thought he had it, Sean.
I did too, yeah. And it looks like the punt team is on.
Wow. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
This might be an area where you want to come with a direct snap at the 43-yard line of your opponent. And meanwhile, the Cougars making a late change as Brandon Dowers will come on to punt the ball. He waits at his own 43 for the snap. They've got the 3 guys up short. Let's see if there's something sneaky going on by Marian, trailing it by 7. No, they delivered, and Dowers, the side-style kick, it's fielded on the run, and there's Sean Boswell comes back to the 20. So St. Francis, after that big catch by Krishan Hogan, they find a way on short yardage downs to stop the Knights.
We talk about it time and time again. That opening drive in the 3rd quarter is absolutely critical to your success because it sets the tone for the second half. And hats off to the St. Francis Cougar defense, especially that short game, coming up with a huge stop and giving back the ball to their offensive unit now.
Neither run game in the first half by either team conspicuous, really. Although we talked about the never say die attitude of the running backs for USF that I thought was huge. But now you've got the ball at your own 20. It's still 21-14. They'll run the ball. There's Green. Cuts to his left. He's across the 25. I thought he had more yardage, but good recovery by Mac Dutra and brought him down after a gain of about 5 or 6.
Well, you called it. I thought for sure he had a lot of more green acres in front of him as he made that cut, but Dutra doing a fine job closing and sealing very quickly.
Yeah, he may be a freshman, Sean, but he's very, very quick.
Yeah.
Call it 2nd down and 4. McDowell, who was huge in the first half, in there wide to the right. 2 wide to the right side. Coate, who's had some big plays as well, including a big 38-yard touchdown catch. Now they show a blitz coming from the outside. Here's Ferrer, busted play, throws in the middle. He's got Coate for a first down. Looking for running room. At the 35, he'll get another yard and a half, just short of the 37.
You know, and that just goes to the character that Coate has. He could have gone down after making that catch. He knew he had a first down, but he tries to evade coverage twice and get a few more yards out of it. And he is a player. That's just all there is to it.
Well,
so scrappy.
The name of the game is manage the game. You try to pick up first downs, and yeah, if you score, great. But the more time you have offensively, you keep that Marian offense and Krishan Hogan off the field. Cut back by Justin Green, crosses the 40-yard line and brings it up the middle to about the 43-yard line.
Love the play calling so far, keeping the Marian defense off. They got to play them true. They're not allowed to cheat at this point. So a lot of traps through the middle. And they're finding some good success and then some good, nice hitches and short yardage game.
Green again, a gain of 6. They'll go to him again. This time he's tripped up and dropped for a yard gain only to the 45. So it'll be 3rd down and a long 2 coming up.
Well, again, in your first half, the St. Francis Cougars 2 of 8 on 3rd down conversions. Those were early conversions, as I recall.
And look at Marian on 3rd down.
Yeah, 1 of 5. Wow.
They've got to get out to their own 47 now on this snap. Exactly 10 minutes remain in this 3rd quarter. McDowell again wide to the right. And the Cougars show a tandem lineup here wide to the left. And they're playing off. Ferrer wants to throw. Taking time. Throws crossing pattern. That ball tipped in the air and intercepted. Boy, they had the play set up, but a deflected ball gives Marian their 2nd interception of the game, and they will be in business inside the USF 40-yard line.
Yes, they will. Boy, oh boy, what an unfortunate turn of events that time. It looks like number 90, Darius Goodman, came up with it. He is a freshman D lineman, 6'3", 250 pounds. Again, it was the tip drill. The ball was kind of forced in there by Ferrer, bounces off of a shoulder pad, goes up in the air, and the big ugly came up with it.
Well, we talked about ups and downs. That's a downer.
Yeah.
So St. Francis turns it over. Marian with a golden opportunity. 1st and 10 at the USF 38. 2nd interception of the day. Gore stays in as the running back. Now Lucas Johnson, the 6'4" freshman, has not played like a freshman this year. Looks to Gore, and he runs, tripped up, but falls forward inside the USF 35 to the 34-yard line.
Just a little blast play to the right side. And that's exactly what you're looking for on 1st down, a gain of 4 or 5. Opens up the playbook.
Got a pair of sophomores on that right side offensively, Ryan Borders and Jaron Bush. Able to get just enough of a seam open. That's a gain of 3, 2nd down, and let's call it a short 7. Shotgun formation again for Johnson. Looks, wants to throw the ball. Dumps it off. He's got Hogan. Hogan grabbed from behind that time. Good recovery by Lucas Sparks. Limits the gain to inside the 30. And it'll bring up 3rd down, and still they need about 2.5 yards.
Boy, you called it. Of course, Hogan goes a step off the line and then cuts back in. And who was right there to get him from behind but Sparks?
Cole's got the coverage on Hogan this time. Near side comes up in press coverage. So 3rd down and a little more than 2 from the right side hash mark. Lucas Johnson with Gore flanked to his left. Takes the snap, hands it off. Gore running off to the right side.
No.
Got to the 29, and that's short. And what will Mark Henninger try to do? They stopped him early in the ball game on 4th down.
Lee Stewart with a tremendous open field tackle right there. It was all about who's going to get lower and stop that momentum. And Stewart goes low and stops that momentum.
No gain, still 4th down, and just under 2 yards to go. Empty backfield now. And there was a little movement at the line, but no penalty flag. 17 on the play clock as Johnson in the empty set A lot of times they like to go to Gore in the flats and let him isolate one-on-one. He's up on the wing to the left side. Empty backfield, comes back in motion, flank to the left side. They'll hand the ball to him, looking to run, and he's got the first down. Slipped through inside the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. Marian gambling this time on 4th down and converting.
Yeah, 50% on the day on their 4th down conversions, 1 for 2 so far.
Now they put Krishan Hogan up in the slot to the left side, 3 wide to the left. 1st and 10 at the 25. Knights trying to capitalize on their second interception of the ball game. Clock moving inside 7.5 minutes. Time remaining here in quarter 3. 21-14 St. Francis. Motion by Gore. Near side. Sets up again. And here is Johnson. Looks that way. Now he's going to run the ball. And slides down at the 22-yard line. First time I think he's scrambled today.
I think you're right. And I think that was designed, Joe. He had his receiver core out to the left side, but he continued to stare down the right side and wait for something to open up in the pocket and just ran through.
He will pick up a couple of yards. Now Larry Trexler, our referee, steps in there in the middle just for a moment and backs out of there. So it'll be 2nd down with the ball at the 23 for the Marian Knights. And they'll run Gore again. Starts right, cuts back, and penalty flag is thrown. He got a couple of yards down to the 21, but that might be coming back.
Yeah, I think it might be. That might be an interior hold against the offensive lineman right there. Again, the trap, when the guard pulls and the tackle pushes, that creates that opportunity.
Blake Blaker knifing in there, trying to get a piece of Gore. That looks like the Cougars will accept the penalty to back him up. You know, we were talking about field goals. They've got a very accurate one. Matt Plesac, 2 for 4 on the year, but a long only of 22 yards. Interesting, he has missed inside of 20 yards this year, 0 for 1.
Well, this one might come down to it. They certainly need points off the board. They were stalled on their first drive in the 3rd quarter, and now the points off the interception could give some momentum back to Marian, whether it's 3 or 6.
Hogan split wide to the near side. Looks like Lee Stewart's going to apply a little attention as well, along with Wilmer Cole. And here's a throw over the middle, and they've got a big catch. And they are going to get inside the 15-yard line down to about the 12, and I believe that's Brandon Dillon.
I think you're right. Yeah, Brandon Dillon that time on the catch. Or is that Trey White?
Trey White.
Trey White, 19, yeah. Again, these jerseys so tough to see.
It is a coin toss. So 6 minutes remains. And now it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Knights. And they've got it at the USF 14-yard line. Shotgun formation again for Johnson. Looks to Gore. Gore picking his way. He's got running room to left, but now denied by Spencer Coward. Came up and wrapped up at the 11. So that'll be a gain of 2.
Coward did a fine job keeping that edge. Again, it's so easy when they start right to get sucked in, and then he can bounce it out left when you're not there. But Coward doing a fine job keeping that angle and not letting him get outside.
Marian very patient, very methodical. They do what they do, and they've got more weapons besides Krishan Hogan, although he's the guy you look at, number 80, first and foremost. Now they'll run Gore on sweep again, cuts it up, and he cuts in, and he'll walk into the end zone. USF couldn't find him that time. It'll be an 11-yard touchdown run by Jakari Gore, and we are a conversion away from a new game at the 5:09 mark of this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Marian made that one look very, very easy that time, as they give Gore plenty of room in a nice lane as he starts left, cuts it up, and goes into the end zone untouched. Boy, that was a tough one. Yeah, too easy.
Now Plesac on for the tie. He has not missed this year. Came in 29 for 29, and it looks like it's going to be on target, and it is. So Plesac adds the extra point, and guess what? We've got a new ball game once again. 21-all here in Fort Wayne. The battle to be number 1 will step out with a timeout. This is Cougar Football and Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
You can help support your Catholic parish or school with Notre Dame Federal Credit Union's Elevate program. You'll not only enjoy excellent personal service and save money with your new loan or credit card, you'll also be giving money back to the participating parish or school you care about. Let Notre Dame Federal Credit Union elevate all participating parishes or schools. Elevate can be reached at 844-230-6611 or visit us online at ndelevate.com. Independent from the university.
Along with Sean McBride, I'm Joe Parson here at Darcy Stadium in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The battle between number 1 Marian and number 2 St. Francis. 21-21 tie with still 5:09 remaining.
Well, again, Marian was not able to convert on their opening drive, but points off of the interception just as important. So, again, that just basically extended that opening drive, and they are right back in it, all knotted up.
Cougars have been picked off twice today, and they've turned into Marian touchdowns. Here's Green looking for a chance at a return. He's got it at the 9, brings it out across the 15-20, and then runs into his own folks. Got to about the 23-yard line, maybe the 24 is where St. Francis this drive will start.
Justin Green on the return.
Oh, late flags.
There's a penalty marker on the field.
Wow. Monte McDowell acting like maybe he taps the side of his head.
Yep.
That's going to back him up if it's against St. Francis. And you've just got to play with composure. Couple of penalty flags out there.
Yeah, that might be a 15-yarder personal foul. Let's see.
After the play was over, they have take unsportsmanlike conduct to the 32 of the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down, St. Francis.
I think they got the wrong number, but the fact is going to be half the distance to the goal, and Kevin Donnelly will not be happy about that.
No, not at all.
Lack of discipline and composure.
Well, again, we talked about it when he came out of the tunnel. They've been shooting themselves in the foot unnecessarily, which is the definition of that, obviously. But again, we see it continuing here in the second half.
So that will move the ball back to the 12-yard line. It is 1st and 10. Just awfully tough against a very, very good football opponent. Marian, very unique defensive lineman. They actually drop at times 3 deep in the coverage. Right now, Ferrer with a running back lined up behind him. He's got Gegner in motion now. They'll run the ball and up the middle, and P.J. Dean looked like he had something, gets a yard, that's it.
Yeah, there was a shoestring tackle made, and Dean was ready to launch through the middle. And I believe, trying to find out, I think that was Shaquille Ash on the tackle. Yeah, number 10, that's right. And he goes off a little hobbled.
Cougars do get a couple of yards on that. Rocky James checks in. Wide right, Seth Coate up in the slot to the right side. He's going to draw double coverage. So Ferrer on 2nd down and 8. Blitz is coming from the outside once again. They look, here's Ferrer, pulls it down, and they've got him again. And there's a penalty flag thrown. Just do not have that time.
No, and fortunately when that happens, that's typically going to be holding against an offensive lineman, trying to keep them off of his quarterback as well.
Marian with 5 sacks in the first half against Ferrer, and they get another one now. Now Larry Trexler, the referee, checking with his crew. Still no indication. And Marian may elect to want to take the play.
Personal foul. Hands to the face.
Oh, against Marian. Hands to the face. Personal foul. Well, that one a little bit surprising. Didn't see that.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, that back in the day, I think that used to be called a head slap. So
the walk-off of 15 yards. That'll take the ball out to about the 20. Still walking just short of the 30-yard line. They'll put it down at about the 29-yard line. That's a big momentum switch there.
It surely is. Again, the Marian defense was doing a fine job containing St. Francis, coming off of a sack. The sack is nullified on the field anyway.
P.J. Dean stays in as the running back. Effectively 3 wide to the right. They'll run Dean. Dean trying to turn the corner, and does for a moment. Gets back only though to the line of scrimmage to the 29. Again, good pursuit. Marian very quick laterally.
Yeah, you're exactly right, especially for the larger players. They have some quick feet out there, so again, they must practice some quick sprints and a good way to get a quick burst, because their defensive line is very agile.
No gain, second down and 10. Rocky James wide to the right side. That's McDowell up in there in the slot to the right side as well. Again, the blitz being shown to the defensive outside. They're coming. Screen ball in the middle, and that's thrown wide. Ferrer had to hurry it and got hit anyway late.
Well, I like the call. They knew they were coming, and again, it was a curl by the defensive ends and tackles that were coming inside. Very porous line, but that was by design, and Ferrer's pass just off target.
Good news, bad news. Bad news, the play didn't work, but the good news, Ferrer did get rid of it, did not take the sack. Darius Goodman was applying the pressure. Now it's third down and 10. And St. Francis 2 for 8 in third down conversion in the first half, trying to reach their own 39 on this snap. And so far, it has not been pretty from an offensive standpoint. 21-14 lead is gone. We're in a tie. And here's Ferrer dropping the throw. Looks, dance, loads up, and there's a catch. McDowell trying to get the stick, and he does. Crosses the 40 and out close to the 45. And Monte McDowell, we talked about it earlier. He has made some big, big plays here today.
That he is. He's really gone to a go-to receiver, him and Coate together for the St. Francis Cougars. Now it looks like he may be cramping as he can't make it off the field.
Wow. That came after the play, kind of probably stretched out after that catch. And hopefully it is only a cramp. They'll come out and tend to him. But we do have a timeout on the field for Monte McDowell. 21-21 tie. 3:14 remains in this third quarter. Let's step out for a 30-second timeout. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Hi, I'm Janet Henrietto. As chair couple for this year's Redeemer Radio Fall Share-a-thon, my husband John and I invite you to join us October 24th through the 28th on 95.7 and 106.3 FM with some wonderful guests from our Catholic community.
And I'm John Henrietto. All of Redeemer Radio's funding comes from listeners like you. Help us continue the work of sharing His mercy. Pledge your support to keep Redeemer Radio on the air.
Still working on McDowell. Boy, Sean, hard to believe it's October already. It seemed like it was July just a minute ago. And Share-a-thon coming up. I know that's a big event coming up later in this month of October.
Yeah, at the end of the month here, it's a great time to support Redeemer Radio. Every time is a great time, but we have a lot of fun with it, Joe. I know you're a big part of that as well, and we always look forward to those 3 days.
McDowell basically running off the field, so they've loosened up that calf muscle. Presume that was the case. So it'll be 1st and 10. USF now at the Cougar 45-yard line, moving right to left and trying to break the 21-21 tie.
Looks like the clouds have opened back up here. We've got rain here at Darcy Stadium, Joe.
Well, they lied to us. They said it wouldn't happen until after 3, but it's 2 o'clock straight up, and here we go. It'll be 1st and 10 as the blitz is coming. Ferrer hands the ball. No, he throws the ball. He's looking over the middle. Rocky James, that was overthrown. Had pretty good coverage deep.
Number 6, Rocky James, is incomplete.
So incomplete will bring up 2nd down and 10.
Went vertical that time, was almost there, just overthrown and incomplete. So still on 1st down. I like the option of throwing on 1st down, especially a big play like that. Still gives you options here on 2nd and 10.
Rocky James stays in wide to the right. One of those emerging stars, I think, a freshman, 6'2", had 3 catches, 71 yards, a touchdown last week. Blitz again, coming zone blitz, defensive right side. They run that way, and P.J. Dean only able to get just up to short of the 45-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and 11. So they've got to get to the 45-yard line of Marian now. Marian picking up the defensive intensity with those blitzes.
They certainly are, and they're being very effective at it, as that's going to be another tackle for loss for Marian on the day, bringing up a 3rd and 11. And you'd have to figure from the offensive perspective, if they know that the heat is coming, that the screens or the draws are going to have to come out of the playbook sometime.
Again, Marian dropping 3 deep in coverage. They've got one-on-one against Coate here near side. As Ferrer trying to make a play, needs 11 on this snap. Play clock at 5, takes the snap, wants to throw, looks, dances. He's got to get rid of it, and the ball slipped out of his hand. It's picked up. They rule it. Well, that had trouble. It's ruled an incomplete forward pass, but again, just not able to smoothly execute.
That call could have went either way, Joe, and I think St. Francis may have caught a break on that. But regardless, the punt team comes on.
So Josh Spitnail will come on to punt the ball away in the first half. Had 3 punts, averaged over 42 yards a punt, had a long of 48. And once a long one right now, waits at his own just inside the 30-yard line. Gore back inside the Marian 20. Again, they're putting pressure, 10 men up the line of scrimmage. The rush has come and got the kick away. High, wobbly ball. Gore calls fair catch and does gather it in at the 20, at the 16. So Marian starts back deep, but they've got the ball in this 21-21 tie with 2:04 remaining. And Kevin Danley's still waiting for his offense to show up in the second half.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The defense has been solid, if you will. They have allowed the Marian Knights to get back in the ball game and tie it up. However, once Marian came out to begin the third quarter, they had stuffed that drive. And so let's see what the defense can do here if, in fact, they can hold them to a 3-and-out.
Neither team is led by more than a touchdown in this big one. Johnson with a running back lined up behind him. I don't believe that is Gore in there right now. We'll check it. Very difficult to see these Marian away numbers. Now they flip-flop them to the right side, and they'll run the ball and cut back to the right side. That's a gain only to about the 18, maybe the 19-yard line. And it is that Robert Gibson, I believe? Or is it salary?
I think it's Gibson.
It is Robert Gibson in there, a 5'10 senior. He had just 4 carries last week in Missouri for 18 yards. He's a veteran and gains a couple. Cougars defensively now with Lucas Sparks, Christian Johnson, Eric Hemmelgarn, and Blake Blaker, I believe, at the right defensive spot. Second down and long for Johnson out of the gun. Drops to throw. Time. Throws the middle. Krishan Hogan is there. Holds on this time across the 30 and still driving up to the 34-yard line. They may whistle the play dead back at the 32.
Yeah, I think you're right. The line judge coming over straight away right at the 32-yard line. So let's see what they do here.
Now one official is going to mark it up, and another official says, hey, it blew the whistle. And it is a first down, but they'll move it back a couple of yards to the 32. But there was Hogan in evidence, that pass.
Just an interior post. He went out, cut it back up to the middle, and he was right there.
Brandon Dillon in and caught a big catch earlier in the game to set up a touchdown. Got down to the 1. He's in there for Marian, now tight to the right side. Shotgun formation again for Johnson. No, the weak snap, they hand the ball off, and they've got a run by Gibson angling for another first down. That should not have happened with a blown play, but Gibson able to weave his way off tackle to the left side, and he's now just short of the 45.
Play results in a Marian first down.
They'll move it back to the 43, but nonetheless a 1st and 10 for the Knights. On the move again. Approaching final 30 seconds of this third quarter in this 21-21 tie.
Really see the offensive line of Marian really stepping up their game right now.
Knights work from their own left side hash mark now. Little motion now out of the right side as they want to run the ball. And here's Gibson running room into the second level, and he's got another first down inside the Cougar 45-yard line.
He is slippery. He makes that first hit right at the line of scrimmage and runs roughshod into that defense. Gets past the linebacker core, and the free safety had to wrap him up. It's Lee Stewart on the stop.
That's a change, Sean, because in the first half, the Cougars were able to basically extend that out and stop at the point of attack. Not so now with the running of Robert Gibson. After 3 quarters, nothing decided here in Fort Wayne. The battle between number 1 and number 2, still a 21-21 tie headed to the fourth quarter. We'll be back after this 1-minute timeout. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Spherion Staffing, locally owned by the Pentenberg family, excels in finding the best candidates for industrial, clerical, customer service, non-clinical healthcare, IT, and professional direct hire placements. Spherion clients are accustomed to getting the right employees at the right time, every time. Spherion Staffing supports the proud excellence of the Dwenger Saints and the Lures Knights, both on the field and in the classroom. Whether you are seeking your next career move or searching for great employees, call us at 260-496-9900 or visit us on the web at spherion.com/FTWayne.
Hello, I'm Tom Steele with Tom Steele Tire and Auto Repair, a family-owned business for over 35 years. We carry all major brands of new tires as well as a large selection of quality used tires to save you money. We do all types of auto repairs, be it brakes, alignment, or just fix your air conditioning. Tom Steele Tire, North Clinton or Illinois Road. Give us a try. You'll be glad you did.
So we head to the fourth quarter, 21-21 tie. Remember, it was the fourth quarter in the regular season down in Marion that St. Francis flexed their muscles. They outscored the Knights 20-0 to come back to win it by 3. Let's see how it fares here today as Johnson trying to run the ball, hands it off. They've got Himmelgarn making a one-handed tackle. He was blocked by the offensive guard and still made the play. Wow.
Yeah, wow is right. Dalton Button, the freshman offensive lineman, 6'2", 290 out of Winnemac, was trying to wrangle Himmelgarn and push him off the play, and Himmelgarn was having nothing to do it. He had a blocker on his left side, stuck his right paw out there and brought the running back down.
Robert Gitson dropped for a 1-yard loss. Hogan lines up wide to the near side. Deshaun Lewis looking to Lee Stewart maybe for a little help now as Johnson checks off. They'll screen the ball. There's Gibson in the running room, and he's in the clear inside the 30-25 and down to the 20-yard line.
Wow.
Boy, they love to hit those running backs. Remember, Robert Gibson had only 18 yards rushing, but he caught 3 balls for 2 touchdowns last week.
Well, that's a momentum builder right there for Marian, as the defense is now on their heels for the University of St. Francis Cougars inside the red zone now.
And they're going to split Gibson out, empty backfield, and we'll see where Brandon Dillon is as well. He's another threat. So they've got, right now it looks like Hogan in the slot to the left side and 2 wide to the right. Empty backfield now for quarterback Lucas Johnson. Now they reset the running back Gibson. Flank him to the left side. They'll hand the ball to him, cuts up the middle, and runs into a wall at about the 18.
Yeah, Pearson Harnish there on the stop with a host of St. Francis Cougars. I don't know if he got any positive yards on that one.
Himmelgarn also gets off the bottom of the pile. They rule it no gain. So they spot the ball back squarely on the 19. Final 13 minutes barring overtime. So it's 2nd down and 10. They work from the right side hash mark now. And again, Marian really not huddling up. They check the sidelines for the play call that is wagged in. 12 on the play clock. 2 wide again to the left. Shotgun formation. They'll run the ball with Gibson. Gibson escapes one, fights his way down to the 16. Angling with that run to the right side.
Himmelgarn almost had a paw on him in the backfield as he slanted in between the A and B gap there on the opposite side, but he was able to push forward for a small gain.
Eric Dutton in a hand on the tackle, leads the Cougars coming into today's game with 32 tackles. It's 3rd down and 7. Long 7. Dillon again in tight to the left side, and Hogan to the short side to the right. Comes up, splits out now. There is Johnson. Looking, looks over the middle. He's got a man, and that's a catch for a touchdown. I think that's Trey White.
Trey White, the senior wide receiver. Yeah.
So that Marian takes the lead at the 12-18 mark.
Seam route that time. He ran straight up the hash marks on the left side, splits the defenders, and the ball was on the money.
So Johnson finds Trey White for the scoring play. And Marian now a conversion away from regaining a 7-point lead. They've led by 7. A couple of times they've trailed by 7. And now they lead at 27-21. Sun some light areas trying to break through here at Darcy Stadium in more ways than one.
Yeah, that's right.
Flesac on to add the extra point. Kick is on the way. Looks long enough. And it is good. So we have a timeout, and the Cougars now trying to play from behind. And it's Marian that scored the last 14 points of the ball game to lead it by 7. And we'll be back. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Life is a journey to God. We stumble, we get lost, we lose the light. The best way to navigate the journey is turning to the Catholic faith. Our daily life of spouse, children, neighbors, the stress of work and worry often lead us away from Christ. Whatever your trials, temptations, or tribulations, the Catholic faith is here. You can find the message of hope, trust, and conversion right here on Redeemer Radio. Welcome home to your family of faith.
Well, the Cougars trying to find that same tempo they exhibited in the second quarter when they scored 21 points. But the third quarter, not so much, Sean McBride. And now you've got 12-18 remaining.
Yeah, in the heavyweight contest, the second round clearly went to the St. Francis Cougars as they went into the locker room with a tremendous amount of momentum. And here in the third quarter, they kind of fell flat. And to start the fourth, now they're down by a score, 28-21.
Those rainy conditions may not help a lot either. Driving kick comes to the far side. Green's got it, brings it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. One man to beat. And is tripped up and dropped inside the 45-yard line. But Justin Green with a key kickoff return. And the Cougars will start 1st and 10 into Marian territory.
That may very well be the spark that the Cougars need. Let's see what they can come up with here. Just a tremendously athletic job that time by Green, finding the edge on the far sideline that time and streaking down the field. Kicker had to push him out of bounds, was successful doing that. But what a run back down to, I think they're going to put it at the 44.
So USF with a great opportunity starting this series at the Marian 44. Green stays in as the running back. Too wide to the right side. Let's see if Ferrer can settle down. They're coming with a blitz at fake, and they steps up. They've got him again. Back at the Cougar 49. Just do not have that kind of time.
No, they don't. He really needed to step up into the pocket much sooner than what he did. And sure enough, the defensive end that was crashing down on the left side was able to get an arm around his waist and bring him down.
You know, Sean, we talk about when a defense takes away something, they also give you something. And Ferrer has at times not been up to the challenge of recognizing what the opportunities are. He drops the throw screen and throws the ball too high. Intended for Nicodemus. And again, under pressure, and things just not working out at all well.
No, and again, we had talked about this, wanting to see some screens and maybe some hitch passes to avoid that pressure. Well, this time they tried the screen, but unfortunately he overthrew his receiver. Nicodemus was open with blockers.
Just had to get rid of that ball quicker. He's not comfortable back there at all. So now you've got 3rd down and 17 with the ball at your own 49, trying to reach the 34-yard line of Marian. Knights with a lead of 7. Too wide to the right side. Ferrer again with the snap. Looks, steps up, dances, and he can't make the decision, and now puts it up for grabs, and that one may be intercepted as well.
Yep.
From bad to worse.
Ferrer made a really bad call that time. He was in the grasp and decided to launch that ball. It gets tipped straight up into the air, and the defense comes up with it in St. Francis territory. And the far sidelines are awash in joy.
Kevin Donnelly comes out on the field trying to settle down and reassure his quarterback, but it has not been at all pleasant here in this second half for the Cougar offense. And now they'll have the ball. Marian will at the USF 43-yard line.
Really impressed with the play calling for Marian defense right there. We see some curl blitzes, we see some corner blitzes, and the linebackers really bringing a lot of pressure, stunning the gaps. They are really confusing the offensive line for St. Francis, and boy, is it paying off in spades.
They're so quick from the outside. They bring those linebackers on just kind of circle runs, and they're on Ferrer before he has a chance to even think about it. So Marian with a golden opportunity now to put some distance between themselves and the second-ranked Cougars. Can USF make plays defensively? They want to run. Here's a quick throw to the right. That's Krishan Hogan. They fake the handoff, and he's got a first down at the USF 34.
Let's see if, they do mark it as a first down. Just a quick hitch out to the far sidelines that time. He turns, grabs the ball through the midair, steps out of bounds. And the chains were moving. Is he just shy?
I guess they're going to mark him short by about a half a yard. So second down and very short. And you would expect they'll run the ball. They're going to throw it. They screen the ball near side. That's Gore back in there. Cuts at the 35 and works off a block inside the 30, and he will easily have the first down.
Very patient that time after he received that ball. Gore was waiting for the blocks to set up and finding his way to the sidelines.
Trey White set him up with a good block there on the outside. And 1st and 10 now, Knights at the USF at the 29-yard line. White split out. He's in the slot to the right side. And they've got Hogan, part of a 3-wide package out there to the right as well. As Johnson does give the ball off to Gore, and he's got running room off to his right side as he angles upfield and turns it up inside the 25 to the 24. And Marian's made some adjustments, perhaps better blocking in the second half, as St. Francis not been able to contain as well as we saw in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, precisely, Joe. You're right. They're getting a lot of yardage on first and second down on the ground game here.
Gain of 6. Johnson turns his back, turns to the sideline, still with 21 on the play clock. Well, the Cougars, whatever went well in that second quarter, has escaped them in this second half. And now Marian beginning to knock on the door again. Now they split in motion. Gore out to the right side. Johnson looks that way, looks, now scrambles, gets by one, runs to the 20 and slides down. He didn't want to have any part of Pearson Harnish.
No, he surely did not. And a nice coverage that time as the linebackers recognized that it was going to be a little screen out there. I think it was Tristan Douglas, number 50, doing a fine job on Gore, keeping him in check, and that's why the quarterback had to tuck it and run.
They'll mark that ball down at the 21. That's about 1.5 yards short of the first down. When the quarterback slides like that, they don't always give you the extra yardage. So now Cougars really need a big play right here. Just over 9 minutes remaining, but it's 3rd down and 2. Johnson with the snap, looks to Gore again, and he's up the middle in the big holes. He's all the way down to the 10-yard line and maybe more. Mike, they're going to rule him down at the 11, I think. Slid, is it coming back?
It
penalty flag.
Yeah, see a penalty flag back at the 25-yard line. There might be a very good reason that there was such a gaping hole right through the middle.
Well, USF right now on their heels, both sides of the ball. That is a hold against Marian. That goes against Ryan Borders, the 6'4", 285-pound sophomore lineman. So that will back up the Knights and take the ball back, looks like beyond the 30-yard line, and they'll set it down just inside the 32 of St. Francis. It remains 3rd down. They've got to get to the 19 of St. Francis. And Krishan Hogan wide to the near side. Wilmer Cole defends. Now they back away. Teams more and more don't really huddle up. They just stand at the line of scrimmage and then wait for the coaches to signal in what they want to run. Gore, the running back, offset to the right side. Here's Johnson to throw. Looks over the middle. He's got a man wide open. That's a catch inside the 15. And it is not Hogan, but they'll have it 1st and 10 just outside the 10-yard line, I think.
Way too much time back in the pocket for the freshman quarterback to set up and deliver that ball. Lucas Johnson throwing the ball on the money this time, and very effectively.
Again, Brandon Dillon in tight to the right. He's a weapon they can use on 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. Gore looking for running room off to his right side. Cuts it out, angles inside the 5, and he's out of bounds somewhere around the 4.
Deshaun Lewis on a blitz that time. Unfortunately, he was blitzing from his side, the left side, and the play flowed to the right.
They're going to rule Gore stepped out of bounds at the 6. So 2nd down after a gain of 6, 2nd and 4. They can pick up a 1st down at about the 2. 8 minutes remaining. Fast-moving ball game here today. Gore still in there as the running back. He's flanked to the left side of Lucas Johnson. 3 wide to the left side, including Krishan Hogan. And here's Johnson ready to take the snap. He's puts Gore in motion to the right once again. Looks that way, screens the ball to him. He's got it, cuts and tripped up at the 5. Fell forward down at least to the 4, short of the 1st down. And about 2 yards away from the 1st down stick with 3rd down coming up.
Gore is so fast. He had man coverage from a linebacker out there, came back for the ball on the screen, and was able to get separation and get down the field.
And here's the Wildcat with Krishan Hogan. They bring Micah Brown in as the H-back off to the right side. He will block for Hogan. And Hogan now with 18 on the play clock in the Wildcat. He's run for 2 touchdowns already today on 3rd down and short. Looks to run right side and nobody's there. And he'll walk into the end zone. There's a penalty flag. Let's see. Right now it stands as a 4-yard touchdown run. But let's see if there's an infraction there against the Knights.
Kind of a stretch play as it flowed out to the right side.
Just bounced it out.
Yeah. The officials huddled up. Here comes the white hat.
Larry Trexler, our referee, will let us know. They do not show the touchdown on the board as of yet, and Marian starting to back up. Holding call against Marian will take away the touchdown, at least for a moment. It was 3rd down and 2. So it's going to be 3rd down and 12. Remember, even a field goal gives them a 2-score lead.
Looks like Lucas Johnson back on the field for the Knights.
And Hogan split wide to the right. Let's see if they try to go to him on 3rd down and long now. Gore stays in as the running back. Flank to the right. They've got Cameron Utter up in the slot to the left side. And here we go. Crowd trying to call for a stand. Here's Johnson in the time of the pocket. He's got an easy catch, and that's Hogan down the middle. Easy touchdown. Good for 14 yards at the 6:53 mark. That was too easy.
Yeah, just a crossing route by Hogan. Again, able to create separation that time. And again, walks into the end zone untouched for the Marian Knights.
So Johnson to Hogan. First time he's received a touchdown pass. He's run for 2 touchdowns. Every time the Cougars have made a mistake, Marian has made USF pay. 3 interceptions at least today. And that time it pays into points on the board, and now Marian has their biggest lead of the day at 34-21, still awaiting the Matt Plesac extra point. And on the way, and it is good. So the Cougars now for the first time today down 14 at home. And we'll be back in 30 seconds. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
A clean office space. Okay, that's an easy choice. And choosing the right company to clean your business is easy too. Sioka's Professional Cleaning is the choice of a lot of Fort Wayne companies because of the 100% satisfaction guarantee. Sioka's does it with built-in check systems to make sure your business is cleaned beyond your expectations every time. First impressions are critical, so make sure yours is always the best with professional cleaning from Sioka's. The best people, the best service. 483-2112 or online at siokas.com.
First time today, one of these teams has led by more than a touchdown, and Marian ranked number 1, and showing why they deserve that ranking. Sean McBride is. They've scored the game's last 21 points and now open up a lead 35-21 against St. Francis.
Well, decisively, and again, as high-powered as their offense is, hats off to their defense. They have really shut down St. Francis's offensive attack, put Nick Ferrer on his heels and his back, really, with the sacks and the pressure. So St. Francis unable to respond to the Marian offense.
And Ferrer, he is not comfortable back there at all.
No.
Here's the kickoff, and it's fielded up front, picked up now by Nicodemus, works to the 20, and he'll get out to the 23, 24. That's, I tell you what, he got something out of nothing that time, but it'll be 1st and 10 USF, and they need to find that magic that they saw in the second quarter reemerge.
Well, and again, the last time they had the ball near this area, they had an early penalty. Takes it back inside the 20, so let's clean some things up here because it's getting late early. There's only 6:48 left on the clock here, and they're down by 2 scores.
Both teams with 3 timeouts remaining. Keem Kelsaw comes into the game. He's up in the slot to the left side. Split wide of him will be Sept Coate. Coate with a great 38-yard catch, touchdown in the first half. They've not been able to get the ball to him so far much in the second half. Ferrer in at quarterback, short drop, throws near side. McDowell's there, he's got the catch at the 4 across the 45. Took a hit in the back, but holds on, and that's one solution. Quick hitting plays, you gotta love it, Sean.
Oh, absolutely, especially to Monte McDowell doing a fine job all day long. Again, that play did not take a long time to set up, just a fly pattern down the right side. McDowell was there. And Ferrer can throw the ball when he's got that little bit of time.
And he put it high where only the 6'2 McDowell is going to have a chance to grab it. Proving field position now at the 46. Here's Ferrer, looks left, throws left, and that's a low ball, but Coate comes back and grabs it a yard deep now into Marian territory at the 49. Alex Woods got tangled up with one of the Marian Knight defenders, but Bradley Mullings, but no harm, no foul there, and a gain of 6. Clock will move inside of 6 minutes remaining before the snap of the football. 35-21 Knights. Gagner in as a wideout now. Larry Trexler comes in and waves his arm. They want to respot the football.
Yeah, it's on the wrong hash mark for one. The umpire, I don't know what he was thinking, but okay.
Now they put it on the left side hash mark. That was a gain of 5, so second down and 5. Clock still moving. Cougars decide to huddle up again with 5:54 remaining. Time becoming a factor. McDowell wide to the near side. He's got Shepard on him. 3 deep into coverage once again. Blitz coming inside the tackles as Ferrer delivers quickly, but whistles blew, and again it looks like that's going against St. Francis. Not able to deal with that confusing pass rush by Marian.
Yeah, they showed about 6 guys coming after the ball, and the offensive line got a little antsy, and that takes away that Seth Coate catch.
So that will back them up. It'll be second down and 10. Cougars trying to reach the Marian 44-yard line. A couple of downs to work with, and maybe an extra one if they need it. McDowell again stays in wide near side. Kelsaw up in the slot as Ferrer steps in for a moment, shouts something to his lineman. Green lined up behind. And here's Ferrer looking to throw. Left side's got a catch. That's Coate, wrapped up immediately, but gets it back into Marian territory at about the 47. So they'll have a third down snap coming up. Boy, they're going to spot that ball back at the 43. He was leaning in at the 42, but it'll be third down and a short 4. Less than 5 minutes time remaining in regulation. Motion Kelsaw to the near side. Ferrer looking, steps up, pulls it down, throws high, but a catch by Kelsaw at the 40 to the 35 and out of bounds to stop the clock.
Wow. Ferrer again has to pick himself up off the carpet, but again was able to get that late throw out to Kelsaw. And boy, they get deeper into Marian territory. This is exactly what the Cougars need to do, put this drive together, but they can't fail now. This is clearly 4-down territory now for the Cougars.
Clock begins to move once again. We'll approach 4.5 minutes time remaining. Running back is Aaron Harris, but Ferrer to the air. Looking, throws over the middle, high, nearly intercepted. Looking for Kelsaw, but Ferrer has had problems over the middle today. He's been very, very on target with Coate to the outside and McDowell a couple of times to the outside. Sometimes that over-the-shoulder, straight-ahead throw ball with a high release point can sail on you a little bit.
And that's exactly what happens because, again, that hookup has been there on the edge. You talked about it, Joe. It's been there all day to McDowell as well as Akeem Kelsaw, but not that one down the seam.
Cougars at the Marian 35. Gagner a little bit of motion now to the left. Here's Ferrer to throw. Looks right side, and that one's picked off.
Wow.
Threw it to the wrong guy. Boswell well bracketed, double coverage, and the throw was to the outside, and the wrong guys pick it off, and that's the 4th interception by the Knights at the 30, and that may do it.
Yeah, it might very well. Again, Ferrer coming off with his head down. He is not enjoying this game whatsoever. He made a quick decision to throw into double coverage and got burnt for it. Boy, that's tough.
Awfully tough to rebound when you're laying on your back, number one, with all the Marian sacks, and then you've just not enjoyed your best decision-making day throwing the football. Cougars have had opportunities several times, and every time Marian's defense has risen to the challenge and stuffed St. Francis, at least in the second half. So now the clock is the ally for Marian. Their lead is 2 touchdowns, 35-21. They have the ball back again. And you would expect a steady diet of Jakari Gore running the football. And they will give it to him on a sweep, running right side, trying to break it to the outside. And they run him down for a gain of only 1 to the 31. But again, precious time slipping away from a St. Francis standpoint. Cole played it well. Jarrell Holman out there as well.
Brings up 2nd down and 9.
Gain of 1.
The Marian 31-yard line.
Cougars desperately need a stop and a turnover to get the ball back. Shotgun formation again, but they're going to run as much time as they can. Still 20 on the play clock. And under 4 minutes remaining in the game.
Early on in the contest, Joe, St. Francis defense had some opportunities that were just lost as far as interceptions, but the quarterback been on the money here lately.
Again, they looked at the read option. The throw there is a blow ball, and that one is caught on a rebound by Krishan Hogan, and you've got to be living right. I thought that ball hit the turf, but apparently it just popped in the air off the hands of Hogan. He maintained the vision of the ball and got it on the deflection and runs into Cougar territory.
That is simply incredible, Joe. I mean, now, how do you call that? I mean, he goes down, scoops the ball up, it goes popping up into the air, keeps his eyes on it, and comes up with a huge catch.
1st and 10 at the 47-yard line now with 3:20 remaining. Again, Mark Henninger says, let's use time to our advantage. Still 12 on the play clock, and they can take the clock down basically to 3 minutes. And they'll run the ball here on a sweep right side. That's Woodard in there and gets back only to the line of scrimmage. But again, time now inside of 3 minutes. All that's left in this number 1, number 2 matchup here today in Fort Wayne.
Yeah, these first couple downs, Marian really just trying to burn some clock here. They really don't care about that yardage, but if they can still convert on that 3rd down and keep the drive alive, the game is theirs to lose at this point.
I believe that is Maurice Woodard in there, the 205-pound sophomore. And the clock at 2:33, but still 14 on the play clock, and they can stand around and burn time. And all St. Francis can do is try to hope to strip the ball away. Shotgun formation, again, read option. They'll hand the ball, off tackle run, and they only get about a yard. And we'll see there is a penalty flag. One of the Knights a little slow getting up. Clock is stopped with 2:16 remaining. Didn't get the number, Sean, of the injured Knight.
He's a big boy. I didn't either. You know, I'm going to go out and say it, Joe. I don't like these uniforms. Okay? I really just don't. Because the gray and the yellow, the contrast really isn't there. If they would just line them with a nice black marker, that would make life a lot easier for us broadcasters.
I should have had you go down there. I've got a black marker. We could have. Krishan, could you hold still just for a moment,
just
buddy?
a minute. Yeah.
Him we've known. We've seen him.
Yeah.
You can't miss him.
Darn right.
Got the long hair in the back and of course just a playmaker.
Yeah, he's
sensational
all over the field.
Playmaker.
He is. He's a special player. That's exactly right.
Well, we do have a timeout on the field for the injury. We're going to hold things right here with 2:16 remaining. Just a reminder, the Cougars now go on the road for the next 2 in the state of Michigan. And we'll be in Adrian, Michigan next Saturday, taking on the Siena Heights Saints. That'll be a 1 p.m. kickoff with pregame on Redeemer Radio beginning at 12:45. And the Knights, they'll take on Taylor. And Taylor's one of those teams that if you're looking past, guess what? The Trojans can come up and bite you.
Darn right. That's Logan Glaze, actually. He's a junior offensive lineman, 6'6", 285. He's out of Leo, as a matter of fact.
That's right. Local boy.
Yeah.
They've got a few local kids. Anthony Martin out of New Haven.
Yep.
Cougars decline the penalty. They want to bring up 3rd down, 3rd and 9, and hoping that they've got a chance to force a 4th down decision and a punt to get the ball back. Lee Stewart looking over to Cougar coaches. How do we want to play this one? Well, I'll tell you what, you better guard number 80.
Yeah, that's right. Give some safety help over the top.
That's first and foremost. Johnson backs away. Clock runs again. And with 15 on the play clock, they can bring it down inside of 2 minutes. Here is Johnson. Drops the throw, screens the ball. They've got a catch and a run to the middle of the field. They won't get the first down.
Oh, that poor official. He got hammered. Was right there.
Gain is to the 41, so it'll bring up 4th down, 4th and 4. And the Cougars are going to take one of their timeouts, I believe, right now to leave 1:49 on the clock. And you need instant points right now with St. Francis about to get the ball back.
Yeah, so and again, from Marion's perspective, if in fact they are going to air it out, they're going to go with a screen or a hitch or something high percentage-wise. I seriously doubt they're going to go after the big shot here, as that creates more of an opportunity for bad things to happen. And again, Joe, we talked about it. They've got the edge. They can run the ball. So again, if they just keep it safe, they're going to have to cause St. Francis to burn their timeouts. And with one or two more first downs, they should be in good shape to walk away with a victory here.
I would guess as dominating this defense for Marian has been in the second half, they will rely on that and punt the ball away, but you never know.
Yeah.
Well, 1:49 on the clock. Well, the Cougars had their chances. They trailed by 7. They took the lead with a great second quarter. And you look for adjustments at halftime and maybe a little bit of resurgence of energy and fine-tuning some things that just never happened today.
Yeah, never materialized. That's exactly right. Again, the defense for Marian dialed it up a notch and really created havoc for Nick Ferrer and company all afternoon long.
No question. That was the difference in this one if it ends as we're seeing right now. Cougars not completely sure. They will drop one back in punt return, and Dowers waits. They do snap the ball to him, and he does kick the ball away, looking to angle it high to the far side. That one hits inside the 15 and takes a Marian bounce down to the 9-yard line.
Of course it does.
So 91 yards away, and of course even a touchdown doesn't do it. The Cougars need instant points, trailing by 14 in the final 98 seconds here at home.
Well, they're going to have to go vertical here. That's all there is to it. And the playmakers today going vertical have been Monte McDowell and Seth Coate. Boswell doing a fine job today throughout the game as well, especially on kick returning, setting up St. Francis with some excellent field position. But they're going to have to pull out all the stops here.
You know, we'll analyze it and break it down, but, you know, you look at some of the big plays. The Cougars had enough offense, maybe most days, to win a game. But that Marian defense with 5 sacks in the first half and I think 3 or 4 interceptions now for the game, and that's been the difference. Ferrer empty backfield, short drop, throws to the left, and that one is wide of Monte McDowell. And tell you what, Marian was ball hawking.
Oh, that's going to be unsportsmanlike. So let's talk about this. Unabated to the quarterback, I believe that was number 32, who is Patrick Shaw, came in and leveled Ferrer and then got in his face as Ferrer was sitting on the carpet. And a flag comes out.
Well, the Knights a lot of talent, but they do have a reputation, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yep.
The dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 32 of the defense for taunting.
Yep.
15-yard penalty. First down.
So that's Patrick Shaw you mentioned, the sophomore linebacker. Had 6 tackles, 1 for loss last week. Clock at 1:34. And the penalty will move the ball up to the 24-yard line. So 1st and 10. Sun is coming out here at Darcy Stadium, but
that's the only thing shining.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Here's Ferrer, short drop again, looking, pulls it, and then looking, throws over the middle, and then that's picked up and then intercepted at the 39.
Triple coverage, Joe. He was triple covered, and Ferrer tried to get it in there, and another late flag comes out. That might be another unsportsmanlike against Marian. That's speculation as far as that goes. But now we see some faithful packing up the umbrellas and the blankets and the ponchos, and it's time to call it a day here at Bishop Darcy Stadium.
5th interception of the day, 2 of them in this 4th quarter.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 22. Defense, taunting. That's his first UNS.
Well, once again, penalty against Marian, but they're going to laugh last with this 35-21 lead and 1:27 on the clock. Cougars still with 2 timeouts remaining. And the penalty is going to take the ball back to Marian's 45-yard line, but pretty much academic at this point, as they just need to take a couple of snaps. Don't imagine St. Francis may be interested in taking timeouts, but we'll see. But this one, well, they'll be burning. I'd like to say Cougars will burn the game film of the second half, but they've got to use that as a teaching tool, learning tool, because plenty of challenges coming up.
Well, and the other teams that they're going to face throughout the season are going to look to this game and say, how did Marian do it?
We can do that too. They'll run the ball into a big pile up for a loss to the 44, loss of 1. And the Cougars, I think, are going to let the clock run, or no, they're going to take a timeout. So.
Well, just a reminder to any football fans that happen to be listening tonight, a big night out at Bishop Luers High School for the athletic department. It is the Bishop Luers Men's Smoker Night. Big tent set up there right on the campus of Bishop Luers. Great food, great fun. The godfather of football, Dave X, out there, going to be signing some autographs. He's so big, Joe Parson, that they're not 8x10s, they're 10x10s, okay? Festivities start at 7 o'clock out at Bishop Luers, and all proceeds go to the Knights Athletic Department.
That's always a big affair. How about tomorrow? I know usually we've got CYO football.
We do. The Stars at tomorrow right here from Bishop Darcy Stadium. Eric Pete and Phil Houck on the call. Unfortunately, I don't know who's playing tomorrow, but that should be at 12:30 or possibly a 1 o'clock kickoff. You can find out more details on our website, redeemerradio.com, and also tell the St. Francis alumni and faithful throughout the country they can listen live anytime on Redeemer Radio just by going to the website and clicking on Listen Live, or go to TuneIn Radio as well.
Interesting development here on the sidelines as Coach Kevin Donnelly circled the entire team around him, and some comments made, and it'd be interesting to find out what that was said. And it's probably more about, hey, we've got a lot of football to be played yet this season, and maybe we'll get another shot at these guys later down the road somewhere.
That's a great insight.
So Johnson hands it off. There's Gore sliding through the middle, crosses the 45, brought it out to the 46. And St. Francis will take their final timeout. So none remaining with 1:09 on the clock. Tell you what, let's take a quick 30-second break, and we'll be back with the final of this ball game. 35-21 our score. Cougar football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Hi, sports fans. Sean McBride here, inviting you to try the Barbershop experience. St. Joe Center Barbershop look.
Copy that.
Of St. Joe Center and Maple Crest prides itself on professionalism, cleanliness, and a family-friendly atmosphere. In their third generation of family ownership, they have a combined experience of over 125 years. Give them a call at 485-6981. It's my barbershop of choice. That's St. Joe Center Barbershop at 485-6981.
With Sean McBride, Joe Parson back at Darcy Stadium. If this was a 30-minute football game, USF was looking good. Sean, they had the lead at halftime, 21-14. They had put 21 points on the board in the second quarter, but it is not a 30-minute game. It's a 60-minute game, and Marian came to play for the full 60.
Yeah, they couldn't put them away. That's exactly right. Obviously, the Marian Knights better adjustments in the second half, and it really showed on the scoreboard.
And now you wait for another day and another opportunity. Clock is stopped, 1:09, still 12 on the play clock. And Marian has stayed with that strategic execution all game long as Johnson looks to hand it off. Here's a roll to the right side, and they'll gain only about a yard. So the clock inside of 1 minute. Cougars with no timeouts remaining. And we may have time just for one snap of the football. They don't really need to kick it. They can just run the football and basically head to the buses headed home down south to Indianapolis. Final 42 seconds running out, 20 on the play clock. They are not even bringing in Dowers to punt the ball. They may even take the penalty and just run the play, and that should be it. They do need to take one more snap. Play clock at 5. And I believe they'll be content to take the 5-yard penalty, or no? Or did they call a timeout?
They did call a timeout here.
Marian.
So just a matter of 20.6 seconds to come off the clock. And now they may well bring Dowers in just to punt that ball away.
Yeah, 20 seconds left. I don't know if you could run around in the backfield for that long, or I don't know what they're going to do here. Let's find out. But Again, next week, another great weekend of football here on Redeemer Radio. Starts on Friday night, rivalry week. It's a huge game. The Bishop Dwenger Saints taking on the SAC leading champions so far, undefeated on the season, Snyder Panthers.
Beat them last year, Sean.
Yeah.
Both teams went on to win state championships.
That's exactly right.
Will it be deja vu?
14-1 record. That's a great question. I think when you look into the postseason play here, the Saints are really, really dinged up. They're dinged up pretty hard, and they're going to have to get past New Haven. And New Haven is playing some really, really tough ball right now.
Dowers does come in to kick the ball away, waits at his own 32. A lot of the new numbers in there for St. Francis, the final 20 seconds plus. And there's the snap, and he'll sidewind that kick again down deep, and Sean Boswell does have it and spun around. He's going nowhere. Back around the inside the 15, dropped with 11.5 seconds remaining. And just one snap of the football remains for this on this Saturday here at Darcy Stadium. Well, there's going to be that sick feeling in the pit of your stomach for the better part of about 24 hours for these silver and blue St. Francis players, but then you've got to start thinking about Siena Heights. Remember, they've got a week extra to prepare for St. Francis, and you've got to have not just next play mentality, but next game mentality and get ready for the Saints there in Adrian, Michigan. They're tough there. Green does come in as the running back, and Ferrer in there still at quarterback. He has had a tough day and does complete the pass for a first down.
Boswell on the reception out there.
Still 6.1 seconds remaining, so the Cougars still competing best they can. And they will have at least one more snap remaining.
And that results in a Glenbrook Guns.
Now they ran the clock down to 5.3. And we do have an injured Knight on the far sidelines, but he's up on his feet, and they'll assist him off. So they'll be able to get this final snap coming here very shortly. Marian will stay undefeated, 5-0. They'll go to 2-0 in the Mid-East League. The Cougars 4-1 now, and they'll be 2-1 in the Mid-East League. Remember, the Cougars won the Mid-East League championship a year ago. Ferrer now, they're coming on him again, rolls to his right side, looking. He's going to run, and will go out of bounds at the 32-yard line, and that takes us to triple zeros. So Marian with a second half flourish, keyed by their defense. They trailed 21-14 at halftime, but they score the game's last 21 points, and they defeat the second-ranked University of St. Francis Cougars by a final score of 35-21. We'll be back with our post-game show coming up. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Meet the Murphys and the Taylors. These neighbors both refinance their homes to take advantage of a better interest rate and to lower their monthly payments. The Murphys used a big bank and spent their vacation money to pay $2,300 in closing costs. Meanwhile, the Taylors paid only $199 by choosing Midwest America's special 10-year refinance program and didn't need to use their vacation money. Looks like this year, the Murphys will be getting the Taylors mail while they're out of town. Find out about Midwest America's 10 and Done program, where you can own your home in just 10 years. Visit us online at MidwestAmerica.org for more details on this and other refinance options and first mortgages. You can also call or stop by to speak with a mortgage specialist at one of our branches located in Fort Wayne, New Haven, Columbia City, Decatur, and Huntington. Midwest America. Altogether better. An equal housing lender.
Now, with analysis of the game, what went right and what needs some work, let's go back to the stadium with the voice of the Cougars, Joe Parson, and the Redeemer Radio sports team.
Welcome back, everybody, to Bishop John M. Darcy Stadium with Sean McBride. I'm Joe Parson. Tale of two halves here today in Fort Wayne as St. Francis looking good, taking on the #1 ranked Marian University Knights, and they had them on the ropes with a 21-14 lead at halftime, but the Cougars with 21 points in that second quarter never scored again, as it was 21 points in the second half by the Knights that give them this 35-21 final victory, and they were all over quarterback Nick Ferrer once again here today. They had 12 sacks in the 2 games a year ago, and we'll get the final numbers, but they were not pretty. They picked off Ferrer 5 times today, and it started with an interception. Both teams went 3 and out on their initial possessions. Then the Cougars were on the move, but a bad throw by Ferrer gave Marian the possession at the 40-yard line. That would lead to a Krishan Hogan touchdown run of 2 yards out of the Wildcat formation to make it 7-0 in favor of Marian. But then Wilmer Cole, on a key 4th down stop, enabled USF to take over at their own 33-yard line. Quarter would end 7-0. But it would be USF then flexing their offensive muscles. Aaron Harris, after a Monte McDowell catch at the 8-yard line, he would take it in from 2 yards out to tie up the game at 7-7. Then a 1-yard touchdown run by Hogan again. After he had a catch to the 1-yard line, Marian was on top again. Plesac added the extra point, 14-7 Knights. Ferrer to Cote on a big second down call, but it was good for 38 yards in the left corner of the end zone. 38 yards, the touchdown toss to Seth Cote at the 7:02 mark to tie the game up at 14-all. Then USF would take the lead on a 2-yard touchdown pass from Ferrer to Sean Boswell in the back end of the end zone. 28 seconds remain in the half. Things looking good for the Cougars. Nix added the extra points. 21-14 Cougars headed to the second half. But an interception gave Marian possession at the Cougar 38-yard line. That would lead to an 11-yard touchdown run. Run cut back to the left side by Jakari Gore. That would tie the game at 21-all. And then a 17-yard touchdown pass from Johnson to Trey White gave the lead back to Marian at 28-21. 3 more interceptions in the ball game. Sandwiched in between would be a Johnson to Krishan Hogan 14-yard touchdown toss at the 6:53 mark, and that would be all she wrote as Marian wins it today 35-21. But if you do have the rematch down the line, I don't know what kind of adjustments you can make against this Marian defense. I mean, they're the real deal.
Oh, they are, absolutely. They're stifling up front. And clearly, what precipitates that is a good defensive secondary as well. So Ferrer didn't have any targets back there, nobody to quickly throw to, so he has to spend more time in the pocket waiting for those plays to develop. When you have defensive ends that are curling inside, when you have defensive tackles that are shooting gaps, when you have linebackers at will that come in and force your hand, you get sacked. And that's what happened consistently throughout the second half here. Well, throughout the game, really, but more so in the second half. They really dialed it up in the second half. So we see miscues, we see penalties, we see interceptions, and we see a lot of sacks. So that Marian defense, player of the game right there is that Marian defense.
No question about it. And now Kevin Donnelly and his Cougar coaches, they've got to quickly put this out of the mind of their players, get ready for Siena Heights. Off today. Saints will be ready for St. Francis next Saturday in Adrian, Michigan, so that'll be a 1 o'clock kickoff. It begins a 2-game road trip to Michigan. And I'll tell you what, 2 weeks from today, they're at Concordia. Guess what? Concordia beat St. Ambrose early in the season. They're not the same team that St. Francis has beat up on in previous years. So a lot of adjustments, and St. Francis still they're not going to drop very far in the rankings. They came in number 2 today. They may drop to 3 or 4, depending. Maybe not at all in a major matchup between number 1 and number 2. You never know what the NAIA is going to do.
That's right. Yeah.
But here today, Marian with a strong effort in the second half, and they defeat second-ranked St. Francis by a final score of 35-21. Knights back home. They'll take on Taylor next Saturday. That's going to wrap things up here from Darcy Stadium. A special thanks to our studio producer today. His name was Robert Scora. His name next to me is Sean McBride. Mine's Joe Parson. Until next Saturday at 12:45 for the pregame. So long, everybody, and thanks so very much for listening.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
All right, Chief.
All right, guys.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Robert. Take care, bud.
Yep. Take it easy.
All right.